Good evening, Hotfix Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Hidden Heroes. This is the Hotfix show where we showcase speedrunners who are a part of marginalized communities and the games that they're passionate about and that they want to show off. I am Anarchy, of course, your host, and it has been a hot minute since we've had an episode of Hidden Heroes here on the GDQ channel, but we are so back. We've never been more back. This past week was absolutely amazing. I spent all of Fatales at the GDQ studio, and it was amazing getting to be there and watching all the great Fatales do their thing. And speaking of Fatales, with this episode, I wanted to take the time to showcase some Fatales who had runs that were on backup that didn't get to be shown off during the event. So up first, we're going to be having Nandy, who's going to be running Lego Racers 90% Glitchless. And then after that, we're going to have Ali Robotnik, who's going to be running Super Princess Peach 90%. We've got some bangers tonight and some even greater gamers here. So make sure you stick around for the show. But before we get there, for tonight's shirt bit, we've got the closest I could approximate to both the games on the show was this 100 Thieves Grand Prix shirt, because we've got racing and Mario and all that fun stuff. But we've also got the Legos in the background. We've got this pirate ship and the Viking ship. But with that, I do also want to shout out, since Fatales has just come to a close, GD Queer is looking for volunteers. Games Done Queer is coming up October 31st to November 2nd, highlighting queer and LGBTQIA plus runners, benefiting Lambda Legal Defense and the Educational Fund. Volunteer submissions are live until September 22nd, which is coming up very, very close. Visit gdq.gg/volunteer GDQueer to volunteer for the event. This is also going to be amazing, and I'm very, very excited to see what the community comes up for this. So if you'd like to volunteer, make sure you check that out. You've got only about a weekish until then. But without further ado, I want to get this episode on the road. So I want to welcome Nandy with Lego Racers. Good luck and have fun.
All right. Good evening. It's currently 1 a.m. for me, so that's absolutely perfect. My name is Andy. I am mostly known for running Rayman 3. Been doing that for almost 10 years now, and some other funsies games. But today we're here for actually my childhood game and passion project, Lego Racers. Very fun game that came out in 1999. Most people know this game from the N64, but the PC version is a lot more superior for speedrun basis and everything else. But I am not here alone. We're here all over the globe. So let me introduce Vincent, all the way from Australia.
Hello, g'day, I'm Vincent. It is not 1 a.m. for me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll introduce
go on.
That's all right. I got a delay, haven't we? I'm an Australian speedrunner. I've been speedrunning Lego Races for about 3 years. I'm the current world record holder of it. And Nandy has graciously invited me to help on with commentary. Thank you so much. And joining us from the other end of the globe as well is Nixel.
Hello, it's Nixel Shadowfox here. Yeah, I'm over from the US. It's about 7 p.m. here. And along with Nandy and Anarchy, I am part of the Frame Fatales community. So,
yes. And I'm here all the way from the center of the Netherlands, getting ready to play some Lego Racers. So, time basically starts with the countdown of the game. Normally we do this through a auto splitter, but right now we can't do that. So let's just all count us down. And before we start, there's a small thing that I have to keep an eye on when the race immediately starts, but I'll let Vincent or Nixel explain everything what's going on. So let's get everything going. I am super nervous.
Let's go for it.
This game is going to be super... this game is going to be super quick. A lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to be quiet for most of the run. That's why I have the commentators on me. So time starts with the countdown off the track. 1.
All right.
Oh, so you are going for it.
No, I missed it.
Aww. So this is Lego Racers. Came out in 1999. It was the first game that I remember owning as a kid as well. Like, none of you mentioned it was their childhood game, but it is mine as well. And there are 13 tracks, I believe, across various different themed Lego sets. And your goal is just to win as many of them as you can. So
You have your 4 different type of power-up bricks. Nandi, would you like to explain what you like?
There are 4 different power bricks in this game. As most of you will see, we're gonna use the green one the most famous one, the giant warp. It's the fastest way of movement. We don't only use the warp. That has to do with optimizations of routing. Next to that, we also have offensive items. Those are reds with hooks, cannonballs, wizard wands, and rockets. We have yellow that is mostly for hazards. What is oil spills, magnet pulls, the cursed, what rotate or like moves your inputs from left, right, etc. Mirrors everything. And then we have blue, what is a shield with various effects. And we already finished the first track, so it goes
and the most
really
unique,
quick.
most unique part of the pickup system is that the white bricks will power up your base color, your blue, red, yellow, or green, respectively. So your speedrunning, you obviously want the green wee bricks. So you've got your standard boost, your green boost, which is what you currently got now. You're about to go for a blue boost, and you're going to try. I'll let you focus here, Nandi. We've got a very, 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 very difficult white brick here, which you just snapped up with absolute ease. You've got that ghosty boy who you just saw there. He's going to be a huge hazard on lap 2, coming up the same part. DFD, Dark Forest Dash, the track that we're currently on, is a track with very little, I suppose, strategy that you can use at a high level of play, because there is one strategy that is the fastest, which is the one that you're going for, and I cannot emphasize enough how difficult this boost here is, because of how difficult that white brick is to pick up. In the terrain before it, you have to make a sharp 90-degree turn with very little vision. In order to be able to pick up the brick, it's just very, very hard. So it's great that you were able to. Oh, that's bad luck.
If you just saw, you may have noticed that Nandi lost a white brick. That happens whenever you take a hit.
In that case, there was an NPC in front of him which got hit, and the explosion radius lingers on screen for a bit, so he actually got hit up in the air, but he didn't lose the brick. Although it didn't matter in the first place, because he had spare light at the end there. But that's not too bad, actually. That's pretty good. Sometimes in LEGO races, the thing that makes it an interesting game to speedrun is just the RNG factor. The NPCs can take different paths each time, which means that you're going to be facing different NPCs on lap 3 in different positions. Laps 1 and 2 are usually quite predictable. It's usually lap 3 which everything can really go haywire, because it's by that time you're starting to overlap the NPCs. They will have different power-ups by the time you get to them. They will have different amounts of white bricks. They will be in different positions. Lap 3 is generally very unpredictable. Coming here, he's going to try and get a white brick and a green brick. He's going to try and build a warp, and he's going to try and warp into another green brick coming up here.
So
Then
the thing with the power-up system is the white bricks each white brick can only be held by one player. You'll see sometimes there just won't be a white brick because someone else has picked it up. And that doesn't go back to where it was until that person uses their power-up.
Yeah, correct. It stays in their inventory until it gets consumed and gets used. The coloured bricks, however, will respawn on their own after a certain amount of time. However, if you have a green brick and go into a red brick, for instance, then it would contaminate that brick and it would swap it with the brick that you've just touched, which also makes it very hard. Yeah, and then that'll stay there until...
Sorry. That'll stay there till someone else picks it up.
We're actually going to use that in our advantage in a later track where we do brick contamination. We'll talk about that when we are there.
Right. The shortcuts in this game are interesting. There's a mix. Most shortcuts take some sort of...
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to interrupt you here. The warp here actually goes straight through the shortcut just because the warp path breaks collision. That's okay, Nandi. If you keep going here, he's contaminated that one there. As long as you don't get bombed by Redbeard, you're fine. And now you're just going to have to think about having a backup green because he's contaminated that one. That now means that he's going to have to not swap that brick. So I think he's going to choose to warp into the shortcut. Going to lose the warp here, but that's okay. You can course,
take
now
this
you've got
with
a
me.
choice. Do you?
Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
just
take
go.
it with you. So now that's going to respawn as a green for lap 3.
Yeah.
And there's 2 shortcuts on Desert Adventure Dragway. One of them is used all the time, the one that you just had seen. The other one is never used at all. It's actually kind of more of a long cut.
Yeah.
And it's just on the left here, there is the door that you can open.
Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna
Just
do it?
there,
No.
as you can see.
A lot of the shortcuts have to be opened by.
Whoa, what happened there? That's Lego races for you.
A lot of the shortcuts have to be opened by some sort of power-up, and some of them stay open once they've been opened the first time, but others have to be opened every lap. For Desert Adventure Dragway, which we just finished, the first shortcut is open every lap, the second shortcut is stays open. But that's only if you actually open it. If you just warp into it, then you didn't open it.
Yeah, what happens there is that when you activate a blue boost in the 1999 version, it's generally whatever the trajectory, however up or down your car is when you initiate the boost, is where your car will remain for the remainder. So it's just unfortunate that he initiated the boost when his car was facing downwards, which meant that when he shot that projectile, it was going to be shooting downwards, because that's the way that his car was angled in the first place. In the 2001 release, oh, nice menuing.
Yeah.
In the 2001 release, they had patched that and they had fixed it, but in the process of patching it, they've generally slowed down the movement a little bit. So the
then number
99
2.
version is used despite, fantastic, you got the hook.
That was a cool grappling hook.
Yes.
Nice, and you can do an oil bounce as well there. So the back of the car lifts up and use the oils. That's the only utility in the entire game for using the yellow. Just there to try go over the sand there, yeah.
So one thing
And
that you made.
this one here, let focus.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Focus.
No, too sharp. Too sharp. Ah,
shame.
it's okay. So one thing that
This
you
track
made.
only has the 2 green bricks
Yep.
near the end.
Oh, I love Discord delay sometimes. So one thing that you
Yeah,
may
especially quarter of the way around the world.
one thing that you may notice that the menu was extremely quick earlier, and that's because we quite a bit ago we found an optimization that when you hold a movement while you press OK, you can actually skip the animation that you normally get from selecting a certain character. This saves about 10 seconds over the whole run.
Oh,
This
wow.
was something that was found when I started learning the game, so for me it felt like it was basic, so I got pretty good at those menus, because I thought it was...
There's only one big
necessary.
shortcut in the level, which is the one that you've just taken. So you've taken the backups throughout the shortcut walk there, which is typically, well, the way that you'd end the map in that case there. However, I'm impressed that you actually got through that shortcut. There's Lego Race is a very complex game to speedrun because there's a lot of invisible walls and a lot of just nonsense that you might not know about. So that shortcut there is a notorious one for you just go to drive through and the game goes, nah, mate, you can't go through there. And it would just shoot you out. You'll just hit an invisible wall and not go through it. So I always get a bit scared watching people go through there.
Meh.
Oh, you got it.
That worked.
The only thing you'll hear from me is either small explanations or funny Lego racer noises. Don't worry about it.
You're choosing to
I do
push?
those funny
Okay,
noises
so you're not
all the
gonna
Yeah,
push.
I'm gonna do it the simple way. It's... Rather be safe than sorry right now.
Royal Knights Raceway, I think, is one of the funnest tracks in the course, and that's because there are so many green bricks and so many white bricks. You have lots and lots of different strategies and different routes.
One of them was
with
taken
a track. Yep, so but now instead of taking a shortcut, you've got the 3 whites on the side here, so you can go into 2, walk into another. Hopefully there's white here. If there is, there is. Now you can do a warp. If that white wasn't there, then you could snap quickly to the right and go for a green and just boost to the finish line. Even now, you can blue boost, or you can build a warp here. Not many other tracks offer that level of versatility in moment-to-moment gameplay. The same way that RKR does. It's quite a popular one in the community just because of that, rather than a track like Dark Forest Dash, which has really been figured out to just have one best strategy, which is just to use the blue boost and miss that white brick a lot of the time. We're going into Ice Planet Pathway here. Let's see what you do off the start line. Are you going for green? No, you're not. Do you get bombs? No, you don't. Okay. Are you going to build a wall?
Yes.
Yeah, I've
fancy.
seen
You can do it.
this warp during practice.
Nice. Yes, that was good.
That was one that I had figured out myself. That's a strategy that I had come up with. And the community at the start just outright just refused it. They're like, no, that's dumb, mate. Why would you suggest that?
Well,
But
that's
it
what almost
works,
everything you come up with.
It can, oh yeah, that's pretty much it. It saves half a second to a second, but the important thing is, and it's a very subtle part of LEGO Racers, if you have white bricks in your inventory, they do not respawn until they are used. That means that if you build that warp on that one, the white bricks will not be able to be picked up by the NPCs. This is not really well. Do you have whites here? Yes, you do. So the whites that you've got in your inventory can't be picked up by the NPCs. So building that warp on that one ensures that the first 3 whites you pick up are not going to be able to be picked up by the NPCs. They're always going to be their lap 2, rather than just green boosting at the very start and having those whites be risks being picked up by the NPCs. It's unfortunate that Kahuna...
I almost drove a best IPP there.
No, that was brilliant. Your average lap times for IPP, you want to be about 24 to 25, and you nailed it the first 2. Only lap 3 where you have to avoid some hazards, did you?
Almost.
27. Oh, we are into AAA, Amazon Adventure Alley. This is one of the least popular tracks in the speedrunning community.
Can I just refer? I'm gonna interrupt real quick, but I like to refer to this track as
Yeah, that sounds about right. Those 2 white bricks that you just picked up there, you are going to use the warp here. You have no choice but to. Now it means that they can be picked up by the NPCs. The NPCs can go on 1 of 3 predetermined paths, and in different paths, the NPCs are sometimes going to be picking up the bricks and sometimes not. That green that he just picked up can sometimes be a red. We're going to see now, are there whites?
yes, it's the one I
There is
need.
1
Perfect.
white. However, sometimes there are 0 whites. We've now got we call it a backup white, which means that Nandi is going to be able to build a warp quite easily here, and it's actually quite lucky. Kahuna is not usually this far back, so
Super far.
Range
I'm
this white.
super far ahead.
Kahuna doesn't even appear to be in second place right now.
That's amazing. Yep, so you've got a nice clean run to the finish line. The NPCs, however, will sometimes just drive really fast, and they will just have no interruptions. They won't be shot, they won't be hit by an oil spill, they won't be hit by a dynamite, they won't, etc. They will just drive on the fast pedal, and they will beat you to those white bricks lap 3. So AAA or can be a very frustrating track to drive on for that reason.
One thing I want to point out is that the racers have predetermined positions. If they do not finish the race in the time that it takes the score to be displayed and stuff, they will just always score in the same positions outside of that, and the champion of the track will be second.
Yes, they'll default, and I'm very happy about that because, oops, mistake. That's all right, mate. Less than half a second. There's a racer on that last circuit called Achu, who is notorious for picking up your greens and whites, who fortunately always gets defaulted to only getting 1 point, which I think is just a very nice vengeful karma. So Mr. White here, that's okay. So you can get 2 here, you can pick up your backup white here. And coming into this warp, when you come out of the warp, you need to hold hard left. Otherwise, you're just going to drive straight into a wall.
That's fine.
There is just let me go on a bit of a tangent here, just while we're talking about it.
I'm just gonna
I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. There's a bunch of Mario mods called Paizo Mario. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. It's just hard Mario is pretty much what it translates to. And the whole idea is that they've got just a bunch of invisible coin blocks, a bunch of invisible hazards, and it's just really, really hard. You just got a bunch of hazards that you don't know where they are. And not that LEGO Racers game for 3+ is a Paizo Mario game, but it's also that's alright, mate. Can you boost here?
Don't worry,
Paizo Mario
Vincent,
games,
go
you
on,
just got so many invisible walls, so many invisible, just unknown hazards. Even just the geometry, just there, and then you just drove past an invisible wall. If you went slightly more right, that would have been an invisible wall. A part of the speedrun is just finding out what you can and can't drive through. It is ridiculous. And even what happened earlier with Nandi not being able to get through the shortcut in the desert level, that's kind of another just hidden mechanic as well that you're just unfair. There you go, got the warp.
So what you missed there, Vincent, is that I accidentally went into the build theme where I had my custom music still loaded.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's
no.
amazing.
I apologize for the headphones. I'll give everyone's ear
brilliant.
a small kiss.
So we're going into Pirate Skull Pass, and we'll focus here because this is another example of just a very, very, very intricate warp. He's going to build a warp, pick up a backup light by going into the corridor here, and he's going to try and eject himself right on top of the green brick. If you get that warp incorrect, you will warp into the warp and you will die. You can't even die in Lego races, but you will die.
Wow.
Did you get that? Oh, look at that, mate. You missed that. You missed that right.
Whoa!
That's incredible. I'm very surprised. I'd like to watch the stream back. I was sure that you.
I'm blaming
Certainly
the
you
Windows
get
update pop-up that I'm having all over my screen right now for that. I don't know what's going on. This run is super cursed. Oh, they've got contaminated.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Yeah, another example is that green gets contaminated to a red probably 30% of the time. That's okay though. We've got a backup strat here. She's going to walk here, and
Contaminate
you are
that
going
green
to
into a
hope.
blue.
Yeah, hope that we can build a wall. No, the two whites are missing. That's a shame.
We can. We
So,
just have to go out of our way a
Is
little
the green
bit.
here? Yeah.
We grab this white, and then we break a bit, and then grab this one. And this should be. Oh,
Once again, surrounded
Ooh.
by more invisible walls. Oh, there we go.
So we were talking earlier about the NPCs taking the white bricks. You might be hearing that throughout the gameplay. You can hear noises as you play. Those are specific to which golden brick you've picked up, or golden brick. Lego Racers 2 on the brain there. Those are specific to which white brick you've picked up. But it also plays the sound effect for every white brick an NPC picks up as well.
Indeed, and on some tracks, as a speedrunner, you're able to utilize knowing exactly which route NPCs are on. So, for example, if you hear a white brick get picked up, I'm going to make this up at the 10-second mark, you might think, okay, that means that I know that this NPC is on this route, therefore they will not go for this power-up on lap 3. You have... Oh, that's a shame. So Nandi just tried to walk into the two whites there, however he missed one, and I was the one who recommended that strategy to him.
yeah, it was good.
You have two whites. You have two whites at the end here, which now means it's got to walk to go through the shortcut, which below bananas, fantastic. It's just that now that white that he had missed earlier can now be picked up by an NPC, so it's not guaranteed there's going to be two whites there. Oh, and same here. That's an unfortunate spawn point. Yeah, that white there is missing, and that is because an NPC had picked it up. Hadn't Nandi warped into that, it would also be available. So it's just an example of the strategies that we're kind of going for here. Got pillars, that's got two battle code. Okay, so you've got two whites here, that's amazing, because that's only available, I think about 30% of the time you're able to get two whites there.
Oh.
What's going to happen in lap 3? Uh-oh.
Oh no, it's good. But...
Oh,
Oh, that was lucky. But now we have to improvise, and I missed everything. Oh, okay, never mind. This is gonna be a fun one.
You heard us. Oh no, do you have a green?
No!
No, I would have actually gone back. I would have picked up the red and gone back to the green. I reckon. No, this is fine actually, because you can now just go for the green here. That's absolutely fine. You can get.
You can just
get the screen and walk. You're fine. Yeah, that's not too bad considering actually.
It works.
So you've just survived
I'll take it.
the first Adventure Temple Trial. I still don't know. You've survived the level, mate.
So we're 20. Remember how I said there are? Oh, sorry, I'm one track ahead on this comment.
And we'll come back to that.
That's okay.
I had to shield sadly. I saw what Bethel was doing. I have a small IL strat that I can do here for a glitch that I'm gonna try to show off on lap 2. depending on if I get a good pattern. It has to it involves the UFO that you will see.
Oh, let's see if you get it. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, nope. It's not a good pattern. So we're gonna do we're gonna try some funky stuff with the UFO, but if I don't get it now, I have a second attempt to show it off, so I'm gonna keep it a small surprise if I can get it now. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good segue into what I was about to say, because you know how I said there are 13 tracks in this game?
No.
Go for it.
We are on track number 12 already, and we're not even halfway through the estimate. What gives? Well, it turns out that this game made circuits 4 through 6 by just reversing circuits 1 through 3. And by reversing, I mean both the mirror image and reverse order.
Yes, correct. And don't worry, we get different champions. They're fun. Not all of them, but most are.
Yeah, it's to run through some subtleties of the mirrored mode that we're about to enter. So instead of ending the first circuit, you'd have the pirates, you'd have the forest, you'd have the Magma Moon Marathon, then the desert. It's now reverse order, starting off with the desert. However, one of the intricacies, you have the same NPCs except for the champion. However, they're going to be driving approximately 5% faster, which is going to impact their placement on lap 3. It means that sometimes, such as on the... I'm going to let you do your mentoring.
Yes.
Brilliant. So, for example, here, by lap 3, the NPCs, this first Y brick that you're going to pick up, just coming up here, on lap 3, the NPCs are very regularly going to beat you to there now, where you would usually beat them on the first circuit. So even though it's mirrored, changes the strategy quite a bit for your second and third lap. Have you made it? Yes, you have. That's fantastic. There's certain entry points to the warp there, but if you warp at the wrong spot, you either won't make it in, or you will warp too far forward and you won't be able to pick up the white bricks there. So when you enter a warp, it removes collision from the game. So this is why that even though Nandy hasn't opened the shortcut, he's still able to warp directly through.
Right.
Interestingly, some of the warp, the warp paths. Oh, it's a shame that you missed the DAD warp bounce there, but that's okay. We'll talk about that, how that happens in a moment, actually. Oh, let's just observe your strategy here. There's no green. Are you going to wait? No, you're not. You've got one. Oh, okay, so you've got a wand, which you can now open the shortcut with.
Bonk.
No, I knew it. You were gonna do that. I saw it happen.
Should have access to this.
Bonking.
Do you have access to the white?
I love
Yes, you do.
bonking.
Yes, you do have access to the white.
There we go.
That's fine. It's actually quite fortunate because on 2 or 3 paths, that white would not be present for lap 3 from Johnny. So it's actually quite lucky that you got to see where he hadn't got that one.
So now that we are repeating the same tracks and stuff, I think this is also the perfect time to introduce or explain the biggest mechanic that we have in the game right now, known as snap slides. Like, why do we have 2 different sounds and 2 different ways of drifting, and why are some faster than others? That's to do with our top speed, but I'll give that to Vincent. Vincent is the guru. And while I miss everything that I can do because I open my mouth.
Oh, that's a shame. No, that's a shame, mate, because we now don't have access to the warp. That's okay.
Was it red, blue, right?
I'm just gonna...
It was red, blue. I do want to point out that the shortcut at the end of this track has a little display next to it that tells you what colors you need to drive through these gates.
Oh, it's a shame.
And on this track, it is actually... don't forget that it's mirror mode, so you have to read it from right to left.
That's true, I always forget that.
It's really funny because I didn't even knew that until the point I started speedrunning this game.
Oh, here's the other shortcut with the... If you have any shield equipped, you can just phase right through that rock.
There we go.
Fantastic. In terms of the slides, you've got your normal power slide, which I always explain if you kind of look at your hand. Your power slide will be sliding from the front of your hand, and if you super slide, you slide from the back of your hand. It's kind of like doing a donut versus just doing a sharp turn. With the snap slides, what happens when you either go off the start line, such as here, or when you emerge from the warp, your vehicle is above 100% its natural top speed. So if you imagine you're just a straight line, you're just driving forward, no boosts, that's what I'm calling your 100% speed. However, just observe here, just interrupt self, see how you go with white. Do we go? Yes, we do. Fantastic. When your vehicle is above 100% speed, through either emerging from warp, like here, you can see it's going faster, or from when you use a boost, there's a mechanic in the game which we have just termed snap slides, where instead of doing a power slide or doing a super slide, your vehicle would just hold onto the ground so firmly that you would get these sharp, intricate turns that are extremely, extremely responsive, which we have termed snap slides. Through gameplay, you want to be trying to go as fast as possible at all times. And one of the ways that we do that is just by, when we get out of a warp, we want to take our hands off the controls. Or when we're in midair, we want to take our hands off the controls. That means that we preserve any speed that we have in the air at that time. Because when we hit the ground and actually start... it's a very strange one to be contaminated, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Worked out for you, though.
Worked out.
Yes, so the more airtime we have, the better, because it means that any speed we have from using green boosts, or from using hooks, or from emerging from a warp, we're able to preserve that speed. And then we are able to preserve what we are calling snap slides, which is if you can travel between a distance in 2 straight lines, it's the most efficient route. And snap slides, instead of having to do these wide turns, we can just take these efficient, just like that, 2 straight lines. And you can see that that was quite a wide turn there that he just did because the snap slide had deactivated. And IGP, I think IGP, Imperial Grand Prix, the pirate one here, very subtly is far, far more difficult in mirrored mode. And it's because you end up resetting runs so often. This is the first track in the game. You play it on the normal mode so much that by the time you come to do it mirrored, it feels so wrong compared to what you're used to.
You've got the muscle memory of the normal turn.
Yes.
Exactly. Those 3 whites will sometimes be missing, in which case it's the start of the run, just reset. You're not going to play missing those 3 whites. That one there, you actually just have a missing white here.
Please.
So what happens? Do we have
No. Palm warp?
It's
a lot of missing
Palm warp! Yay! I love palm warp.
Palm warp's acceptable. If that white is missing, then it's just an example of how halfway through a speed run you just lose lots and lots of time through no fault of your own. It's just the bricks missing.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Interestingly, hitting NPCs, it actually has the same properties as just like driving into a wall. When you play, you actually just want to think of NPCs as just moving walls, because the second you touch them and the second you touch a wall as well, your steering locks for about a full 100 milliseconds. For a full second, you cannot steer left or right. So if you hit an NPC, you lose control. So they're moving walls. You typically want to avoid touching them as much as possible.
They do have cute little horn noises, though.
That's true. Also, this game, because it's Lego, this game is extremely customizable, and every head that you can put on a character has different voice lines as well, what is super charming, I imagine.
Yeah,
and obviously you get to build your own car as well, like this flag of Sweden that we're racing with
Yay,
right
Sweden!
now.
Shoutouts to all the Swedes that are still awake.
Yes, we do.
What, you don't want to shout out the Swedes that are sleeping at 1 a.m.?
Makes sense. Shoutouts to everyone.
So just got a sub 24 second lap time, which is
That's
fine.
really good.
With AAA, Amazon Adventure A, this is the track I was saying earlier. With do we have whites? Do we have whites?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we have one. However, are you going to beat a Chew to the green? This is why the NPCs drive 5% faster now. Yes, a Chew was at the very back. That's my speedrunner. Eagle eye there. I was looking for where he is. He's at the back.
No! A Chew!
Oh, but you've come...
Okay then.
I'm still ahead, so all these whites are gonna be here. No, I'm lying. No, I'm not.
Oh, they.
I was. Oopsie. But it's fine because I'm back up.
So a chew there, where you saw us panic at the end there. A chew takes that green 2 out of 3 times. So Nandi, you just got very lucky there because you got the 1 in 3 path where he does not take that green brick.
And one of the 2 pathways is also where a chew contaminates the green brick later, so you can reactivate and grab it somewhere else.
Yeah, a funny intricacy as well with the champions. We're racing against Baron von Baron at the moment, where you versus Kahuna in the first one. Kahuna just uses standard shields, whereas Baron uses powered up shields, which means if he has, say, a green shield in his inventory, that's 1 white and a blue, he's probably not going to use it, which means that if he has a green shield and he drives through a green brick, he'll contaminate it. Whereas Kahuna, good boy, would use the blue shield and use the green shield before driving through, which means he won't contaminate it. Which means that when you're driving on a mirrored circuit, you're going to have different brick contamination because the champion has different preferences and power-ups. To go through quickly, you have Redbeard, who's the very first opponent that you verse, but is arguably, or well, it's not arguably, he is the most aggressive. I actually think that Johnny would be an easier one to verse, because as a speedrunner, you're not going to be given the NPCs opportunities to pick up whites.
Oh, I love racing against Johnny.
That's fantastic. That is a brilliant IPP lap 3 that you've just driven here. You've had no opposition for your whites here. You've beaten Baron to the green. That is a phenomenal.
That is really good.
That wouldn't surprise me if you got a. Wouldn't surprise me if you gold split it there. That's great for those lap times.
Yeah, I can't check that right now, sadly, but I'll come back to that after the stream.
It is run.
No, that was brilliant.
It's peak.
That was fantastic.
All right, here we go again. RKR. I love.
Yeah, champions have different preferences, power-ups, but I'll put a pin in that for now. We'll actually look at the race.
That is the optimal warp that I tried to do the first time, but I'm doing it a bit more finicky. Normally we have like a setup for it, but you can do it a little bit quicker by drifting. But sometimes the game is just like, nah, not today. All right, let's see if the light is
so
there.
Here's an example of he snap slides here. Oh, that's an example. Okay, so that's contaminated, but that's okay. We can now pick up this green and walk into the next green. And I don't know what Nandi will do. I would normally slam on the brake straight away to make sure I can collect.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I would usually slam on the brake so I can collect those 2 whites to build up a spare warp. Yes. That's okay.
This works too. Unless this is also red, yeah.
Oh, contaminated. That's a shame.
Contaminated twice.
Green?
No, I can't.
Just missed it.
No,
That's a shame.
I forgot it was mirror. Normally, when I have this happen, I try to hook, but everything works.
Yeah, it's a very tricky game to speedrun though, because you can be on a world record pace and then something like that happens where it's just contaminated. Which is a part of why it's so interesting to observe speedruns and to speedrun as well, because it means that you need to come up with backup strats, and you can't just you can't tacit in the way that you do the exact same thing every single time.
So I always like to say that. As I always like to say, is that every LEGO Racers run is personalized. Like, there's a very small chance the game is programmed in a way that doesn't matter what, a yellow brick or a blue brick gets used immediately by. There we go. By most.
I'm so surprised that got picked up. That's great.
By most of the CPUs, but for some reason, when you are always on very good runs, the game decides, no, we're not gonna use them, and then everything becomes yellow. Like, people just start contaminating everything. Okay, let's do it again. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
That's a really hard one to get. You nailed it.
I had to fill it up after failing the normal way around.
I'll explain as well that the reason that Nandy isn't choosing to boost as soon as he gets the green brick is because at sorry, I'll start again. When you boost, it depends on the evenness of the terrain that you're on. So Nandy was deliberately going onto completely flat, even terrain before initiating the boost, ensuring that the car won't get locked into either a left position or a right position while flying. It's what we call tilting. In the 01 version, they had they had reversed that, so it is now a balanced car. But yes, you can tilt while blue boosting. It's very, very frustrating.
You'll probably see it happen into the final track, because that is one giant mess. So welcome to my favorite chip.
See the IL strat you were teasing?
I hope so. No, I got shot.
I always call this like it's kind of the final sprint of the run here. And the two middle tracks in the circuit, ATT, Adventure Temple Trail, and PSP, Pirate's Gold Pass, are both two of the, I'm going to say most RNG heavy tracks in the run, which always makes it very hard at the end of the speedrun. So great run in progress, and it can just get ruined by poor RNG, or you can have a more questionable run in process, and then it can just get saved by perfect RNG. So it's going to be interesting to see.
It's really funny because my actual PB is fully behind on the whole run, and then I just saved up everything in only this champion to get my first sub 45. I keep missing that strat. Okay, will we see? Yes. No, it was too late. Okay, let's try it again. I want to do it, please. No. So what I was trying to set up here was that when you get targeted by a UFO, you first get some speed forwards and then you get sent backwards. But if you shield while you get the speed forwards, you keep it and you go giant wee.
Yeah, it just tries to pull you to the center of the tractor beam, so before you hit it, you're being pulled forwards. Like they just said.
It is IL viable. You can try it. It doesn't lose that much time when you get it, but it's just really fun. You just go giant wee. Alright, well, here we go again.
It's a huge wild card, that UFO boost, but it's fun. And like, why would you do speedrunning if not for fun, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Wait, this hobby is fun.
Let's see, can we get the... Oh, you got two whites.
That was a double brick.
Yeah. Yeah, can you believe it? Someone play this
I ruined it right after.
Ah, shame.
It's okay. I
Now
have
you got two choices.
I have a funny backup for this. Oh, if I don't get hit.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, if I don't get bonked. I have funny backups for this. This is my funny backup. Normally Vincent comes up with all the funny backups, but this is my funny backup. I trademarked this like last week. Don't worry.
So, Nandy funny backup.
Do it again. 1, 2. I only got one, but that's okay. I can just go through. So what I normally do here is I grab this blue, and we're going on a little adventure right here. With the blue, because there's this cheeky little green brick in the back.
Adventure Temple Trail.
And you warp into, or you don't warp into it. Don't worry. We got this.
That's alright, the NPCs are far enough ahead. Oh, what's not calculated is what white's going to be available. The green is always available, but what whites are. Can you build a warp?
I have a warp.
No, shame. That's right, you get the green though.
I have a warp and an extra green.
You've now collected it, so you can... Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, put your green. Now you can go, wee!
I call it the blue brick adventure. I know I'm like the only one who does this. Speaking of things that I am apparently the only one who does, is a small optimization in PSP that I will try to explain while I do it. So normally we are in PSP, as Vincent said before, we are very strict on how we warp into this white brick, but for some reason, I found a setup when learning the game. If I hit this corner, it just normally shoots me into the green. But I just messed it up.
But because you tried to explain it, yeah, because you tried to use it as an example, of course you cursed it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Let's try again. So, I have the setup that I normally only use. I'm the only one who does this because we're very specific with warping. But for some reason, if I warp into this corner, it doesn't work. Screen is here instead.
I said uh-oh there because I have enough experiences. Like, once you've ran the game enough, you can observe a warp. You will know exactly what tick, like, it's going to take you off on. And I watched that tick and I thought, uh-oh, that's not working.
Don't worry about it.
The NPCs, once again, are far enough forward that we should be able to have free reign over them.
And there's no green there.
We all loved it. As I said, every lick.
Oh, you can do.
Oh no!
We flaked it, baby.
You flaked.
You're just playing the long game, so they all hit that on lap 4.
I'm keeping y'all entertained for a bit longer. Don't worry about it. All right.
Something I'd like to cover, actually. One of the I've released a couple of like other fact videos, a couple of guide videos, and I always get comments on my run just asking about what's the deal with the car? Why is it a bricked up car? Why have you got so many bricks? And people are just being unsure about whether the build of the car actually makes any difference on the speed. And you'll probably notice that a lot of the cars in the speedrun setting use these, we call them bricked up cars, which is that you put as many bricks on the car until the game goes like, no, mate, you can't put any more bricks on. You go righto. And the reason for that is that it's just the more bricks you have on, the faster your car goes effectively. The slower you come out of warps, but the faster your car will go naturally through acceleration. So if you boost with full bricks on your car, you are going to be going faster than if you boost with no bricks on your car.
Yes, and then
which unfortunately means that you have quite limited creativity. With you got all these bricks, all these fantastic things you can build, and you're kind of locked into just building box cars. But you can do some nice flags, can't you? Unless you're Aussie, in which case you absolutely can't do a flag. lucky to be a Swede.
And next to that, we also we put some lanterns on the sides. And that's to do with the fact that they're a bit heavier in the stats wise. And we are trying to find out if they make our hitbox a bit more wider as well. But for the weight stat and the top speed, they do matter. So we have them in specific spots on the car. This is a complete rip off the car Green Beans uses. So shout out to Green Beans. Currently second place holder, also extremely talented Lego Racers runner. And number 1 rival of Vincent.
World record holder. Yeah, world record holder when I started running. Kind of amazing, this game. So I started running. I didn't anticipate becoming world record holder, but his 45 minutes 30 or whatever it was seemed just unbeatable when I first started running. I thought that it couldn't be beaten and that it just couldn't be beaten. And now the world record is less than 44.
And we're already
Shaved
down to
over a minute.
one more race.
And this is where I'm actually not gonna say anything because this is also the most difficult race. Yay!
Yeah. Okay. I will give a bit of context to Rocket Racer, little fella there, Rompet, good old Rompy. Off the start line here is the most intense moment. What happens? Nothing happens.
Perfect.
That's fantastic, because usually you have all the NPCs boosted and it's just a complete cluster to try get to the power-ups there.
Yeah, during practice there was quite a bit of restarting that race.
I don't like this game anymore.
That is a Kaizo Mario moment of Lego Racers there. You've just got to know that there's that like little jut in the wall there that hits you off, and even I, having played it thousands of times, still hit that jut.
Guess we're gonna do
Rocket Racer's run is just full of reds and greens, and it's because there's so many whites and so many greens, there's so much room for contamination, which means coming up with a set strategy is just not reliable for Rocket Racer's run. You can have preferred strats, but you've got to be prepared to react for anything. Blue boosting is the hardest thing you can do in the game. So now Nandi is hoping for 3 whites to be able to build the warp. Does he have... No, he
I'm
doesn't.
not breaking the golden rule.
You'll notice
don't walk into the shortcut.
On this track, sometimes even the champion ping pong, leapfrog with the lightning rods.
Am I gonna
But
do it?
you'll notice sometimes the champion even warps on this one.
Whoa, what was the game saying?
Whoa.
Time is coming up, by the way.
You got it. And time in 3, 2, 1.
GG's.
I completely forgot about that part. This game goes so extremely fast, it's impossible to catch up with. Well, this was one monstrosity of a run. I'm gonna be very honest. But amazing. This was very fun.
Yeah, I was going to say,
What's
we all
your
had
final
fun.
time at the end?
Yes. I'm happy that everyone had fun and we could
It says
show our little silly projects.
4612.3 on the stream.
And for my in-game timer, it says 46.6. So that is still a really good
Nice.
marathon run for a game that goes all over the place. So I take it. So we win the amazing Rocket Racer car sets that we most likely delete right afterwards because we have to reset the file every time we play this game.
Oh yeah, that's what you
And
get
you're the
for
greatest.
beating each champion is their car bricks.
You're the greatest Lego racing champion of all time as well. Just you, Nandi. You're the only one.
I'm the only one. What, number 4, actually. No. No, but
He's totally not about to fall into a deep depression only to bounce back when he finds an advertisement while walking along a beach town.
yeah, and then he goes into his Rocket Racer evil villain arc, and that's how the plot of the game that we don't talk about, Lego Racers 2, starts. That game doesn't exist, but we do look for more runners, so please play Lego Racers 2 instead. No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you've got a Lego Racers 2 chat mod here in the stream. Chat mod?
chat mod, speedrun mod.
Speaking of things that do exist, I do want to say GG's first off. And where can the people find you, Nandi? If you have any shout outs, now's the time.
I have a YouTube. It currently stands under Nandi VRC because I did some stuff with that. I mostly do my runs offline right now because Lego Racers is such an intense game. But most of my PBs for stuff like Winnie the Pooh, Rayman, Battle Block Theater, and mostly Lego Racers right now can be found there. If I stream, it's twitch.tv/Nandi. And most of all, I don't really use social media that much, so I guess when you're there, you're there. You can also find me in the Lego speedrunning server. Great community. We as Lego Racers runners are a small bunch right now, where we sometimes also do other challenge runs or anything like that. And yeah, before I go, I want to give a couple shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Vincent for all the knowledge, for Nixel for the knowledge on Lego Racers 2 and being a very nice co-host for this run as well. And I guess, yeah, we have George, one of the modders. We named Green already, Janik. I can go on for all. And everyone's other favorites, Scandinavian runner Flakes, and I miss Grill and Bagel, our mods. And don't forget, the only console runner that we have right now, Jamie. So I'm looking at you, Mr. Shasta. Please submit your runs to the leaderboard so we have more competition. And yeah. And my amazing partner, Vanille, for staying awake. I love you. But that's basically it, I think. Yeah, that's basically it. So I want to thank everyone for watching our monstrosity of a run. And now we're gonna have some cozy content with Super Princess Peach. Something completely different. But I hope you all have an amazing time. And yeah, good night from
Enjoy
me.
the rest of Hidden Heroes.
Yeah. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Hidden Heroes. We are about halfway through the show. This is, of course, the Hotfix show where we showcase speedrunners who are part of marginalized communities and the games that they're passionate about and that they want to show off. I am Anarchy, and of course, this is the Flame Fatales After Party, which just wrapped up this Saturday with about $151,000 raised for Malala Fund, and even more money with sponsors adding afterwards, which is an amazing amount of money to support women and girls in their endeavors, getting an education and making their lives overall better. So, of course, with this episode, I wanted to showcase some runs that were on backup from the event. They deserve to get showed off. But before we get on with the next run of the night, I do want to shout out our website and a couple other things. If you're curious on what's coming up with Hotfix this week, we've got a lot of new things happening. We've got some new shows that are going to be debuting this week and next week. So if you're curious about the schedule, make sure you check out the schedule and explore our full season lineup on gdq.gg/hotfix. And also, if you'd like to catch up on past shows, special events, and GDQ marathons, you can do so over on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and stay up to date with GDQ. But without further ado, I want to welcome on Ali Robotnik, who's going to be running Super Princess Peach any percent. Good luck and have fun.
All right. Thanks so much for having me today. Yeah, we're going to be running Super Princess Peach today. I'm joined with my friend and fellow player of the game, LOZ Player 89. And yeah, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is LOZ Player 89. I'm a bit of an older runner here, but I'm going to be your commentator for the day.
Well, we've got a little bit over, about an hour and a half run ahead of us. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll count us down and let's get going. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. And as we start this run, thank you so much. I'm going to be just skipping a few cutscenes, and you'll see right out the gate, this is a nice classic 2D platformer that came out on the Nintendo DS, funnily enough, October, I think 20th, I think I just Googled it, of whatever, I'm blanking on math, but it turns 20 next month. So that would be 2005. Is that how you say numbers? I don't know. Anyways, you can see I'm running and crying. Laz, can you explain what's going on with Peach? Why is she so sad?
Yeah, so the core mechanic of this game is the vibes. There are these 4 giant buttons on the bottom screen. Currently, the one we are right now using is the Gloom vibe. It's going to be Peach's main fastest form of movement. And because it's the main fastest form of movement, it consumes the vibe gauge. We're going to be using the Gloom vibe and managing that gauge the whole time. One of the ways that we're going to be managing it is that when Peach is airborne, the vibe gauge actually depletes slower while in Gloom vibe. And also, she tends to fall a little bit slower as well. And then right there, that was the Joy vibe. We use that for height gain and to solve puzzles. And I'm using puzzles with like 19 pairs of quotations because it's usually like, oh, just click this one vibe and let the animation do its thing. And then as for the other vibes, we have the Rage vibe. It just turns Peach into a giant hitbox. We're going to be using it to primarily damage bosses. It's the easiest form to damage them. And also, it's used to burn bridges and stuff like that, but in this category, that's not really going to be anything necessary. And then the Joy vibe is a self-healing vibe. The heal rate is really slow, but it's hopefully, if everything goes right, we shouldn't really see it.
My 2 practice runs ago, I had to use that Calm vibe to heal up. But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't show up. So fingers crossed we don't see it.
There is a...
Go ahead. You got it. You got this.
There's a few ways to regen the vibe. One is picking up vibe crystals. One is picking up vibe crystals where there's just these giant blue gems. There's a lot of set locations for where they are. You'll see them often just hanging around and also in blocks. But also, as Ali just did, we can use them, we can just swallow enemies, and then certain enemies have a certain amount of vibe gauge that they refill. Hopefully we won't need to rely on that too much. It kind of varies a little bit on drops. But if assuming everything goes well, it should be kept to a minimum, but we're still going to be using it here and there for emergency cases.
And as Laz mentioned, we eat the enemies to refill the vibe, but when I say we, it's actually our cute little parasol partner, Harry the Parasol, that does the eating. So yeah, the whole main gimmick outside of the vibes is your main weapon of choice is a parasol that Toadsworth bought from a shop and gave to Peach to go on this adventure. And maybe we'll go a little bit into the story down the line. But you'll see my coin count is actually really good right now. And by that, I mean I'm making lots of stacks of money. And that is important because there is a shop we will be going to. And I want to purchase a total of 3 things from the shop. The first time I'm going to go to the shop, I'm going to spend 200 coins on a power-up called Floatbrella. Funnily enough, our main weapon or, tool, besides the vibes, is a parasol. You would think the parasol comes in built with the power to float in the air, but no, it costs money. So once we hit that 200 coin threshold, which usually happens as we finish World 1, which as of right now, we're 1 level away from doing that, we will visit the shop and spend about 10 seconds shopping and then head right back out. Later on, in the middle of World 4, we will revisit the shop with 750 coins to make 2 purchases of a power-up called Vibe T. You see that yellow meter in the top left corner? That's our vibe gauge. Anytime it runs out, I am no longer able to use vibes anymore. There are some levels and some boss fights that require a lot more vibe to do efficiently, and it's worth the time to go visit the shop to make the purchase. Because overall, the gains in the levels outweigh the loss of visiting the shop. Also, this is a silly little flower puzzle we're doing here. We see the colors up here in so in this room, I'll show you. It's left to right, light blue, purple, red, light blue. No, so now I got to hit the flowers in that order. This is actually the hardest room of them to do it, but even this one isn't so bad. So yeah, we're actually, like I said, on the last level here of World 1. So yeah, World 1 zooms by pretty quickly, but as we continue, the worlds get longer, the levels can get a little more labyrinthy. But yeah, we're just chilling for now.
One of the
This game
reasons
is
why.
awesome. Oh, sorry. This is great. I'm having a good time already. We've just started.
It's a very niche childhood favorite of mine.
Yeah, this was my very first speed game ever. If it's not apparent by the plushies behind me, the crown, etc., I am a big Princess Peach fan. I've loved her since I really don't know when, but when first picking a speed game, I jumped to this game pretty quickly. I bought it used, I don't know how many years ago now, played through it casually, and from there just slowly started seeing what's this speedrunning stuff about, how does it feel, stuff like that. I'll go into that in a little bit more, possibly more alley lore. But for now, I mentioned this is a touchscreen game, or a DS game, excuse me. And this game loves to remind you, hey, I'm a DS game. I have 2 screens. Hey, I'm a DS game. I use the touchscreen. And so many features like that. So all that was just dragging the trampoline down and then yeeting Peach upwards. Any Sunshine fans out there, by the way? Oh,
Hey, that's the guy.
It's the guy. There is one mechanic that we are going to be making use of in this fight. You might have seen it earlier with the water, but certain actions in this game actually cancel the vibe animation immediately instead of having to manually unpause it, which creates a little screen freeze that lasts for about a half a second or so. So landing in water, damage boosting, that sort of thing generally just cancels it immediately, and we're going to be using that throughout the run to save time here and there.
Yeah, so right here, just run into PD to damage boost out of the vibe. And PD, like all the other bosses, have 2 phases. In the second phase, they'll activate a vibe to sort of make the fight a little bit harder or something. Just gonna move this real quick. I think she looks cuter. But yeah, so we saw PD there, used Rage Vibe to kind of start stomping around, similar to whenever I use Rage Vibe. when I set myself on fire, I will be stomping around like that too. So La-Di-Da Plains World 1 is behind us now, and we're off to Who's Woods. And like I said, we got those 200 coins. There's our first shop visit done, and you'll instantly see use of Floatbrella here to jump over some wide gaps and just save some nice time in the air. We mentioned Gloom Vibe being like the fastest form of motion. There is a second way to move just as fast. Roz, can you explain slopes a little bit for me? Because I got to focus on these hops.
Yep. So in World 1, you might have seen Allie a couple times slide down a slope and then just kind of like hop repeatedly afterwards. Slope carries a lot of momentum in this game. And then also another way to carry momentum is getting spit out of a piranha. Neat thing is that the Floatbrella lets you carry the momentum indefinitely instead of just having it, because whenever Peach lands, she loses speed. I think it's like every frame she loses like a little bit of speed, and then we're gonna make full use of that with the Floatbrella. Alternatively, a different way to maintain some more of that momentum is if you hold down with momentum, Peach does like a little kick slide. It has very little niche use here and there, but when we're using the slope momentum, it actually gives us a bigger window to jump without losing as much speed.
And we got ourselves our first auto-scroller here. Can't really do much to save time, but since we need money anyway, I can juggle these spinies and just farm some coins while I wait, so that's cool, I suppose.
We love a good auto scroller.
Oh, we got another one coming up that you're really gonna love.
Yay!
Sorry, teasing a little bit.
There's another thing to mention here. If you've played this game before, you might have maybe played through the whole game, rescued a few toads, maybe got to the end and you can't progress because you don't have all the toads. This isn't really explained anywhere in the game that you do need every single toad before you get to it, unless you've read the manual. And if you've noticed, Allie has grabbed a whopping 1 toad so far.
You get one from beating the boss, excuse me.
Okay. 1 toad in the level. Because that one we just simply can't skip. We do have a method for bypassing the thing that tells you you don't have enough toads to pass. They're in those pink shaky crates that Allie just jumped past. And we'll explain that when we get there.
How does this level start? Honestly, I can ask myself, how does this level start? And there is like, if I just say using Gloom Vibe, there's like a 60% chance I'm right. I like to call this like the saddest speedrun in history, which is sad, but that's okay. It's good to be in tune with your emotions, I like to think.
It could be worse.
Even needs to cry it out.
Yeah. We have the other Peach speedrun that is also very sad.
That's actually my current active speedrun project, the newer game Princess Peach Showtime. It has an any % category that there's a silly trick called Death Abuse, where if you die twice in a level, the game just asks you, hey, I see you're struggling. Do you want to just beat the level for free? And then you say yes, and then the level's beaten. They actually made it work that you can do that on the very final boss if you wanted to as well.
That's awesome.
We don't do it on the final boss, but it's just funny that they programmed it that way. Also, here's that auto-scroller I was talking about. I'm gonna do a few pull-ups at the start just because Peach needs to get her reps in. And then we'll just, oh wait, actually, shoot. My thumb slipped. I didn't get my reps. Hold on.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Gotta stay nice and healthy.
All right, so the auto-scroller is broken.
I love this game so much. This is awesome.
And there's that room done.
So right there, we died on the same frame that we climbed up on the ladder. And basically it puts us in like this zombie state in which the screen just stops moving, but it actually doesn't get rid of like the invisible barrier that stops you from progressing. And then after that, you can just do the rest of the room blind. And it just lets you do that with no hesitation.
Yeah, that there are 3 levels in total where we're able to do that trick. This one is the easiest and has the most consistent setup. So I wanted to make sure I got to show it off. So it was a little unfortunate that I slipped off the ladder there, but you know, we got it back. We backed it up pretty fast, so it's okay. One of the other 2 levels we'll do it in. I actually don't do it in runs right now because it's scary. But I'll try it again in World 6. But yeah, the part that makes it scary is, as Laz mentioned, you're in like this zombie state. And by zombie, what we mean is if you take damage, because the game kind of thinks you already waited out, it like registers that taking damage as revoiding out and sets you back to the beginning of the auto-scroller. And one of the levels we can do that in is in World 4, which is the volcano level. And there are lava pits we have to jump over off screen. And I've not come up with a consistent movement setup to make that happen. So I'm not going to worry about it in this run. But I will try to get the one in the ice level, even though that room has So these yellow blocks give you tips if you hit them, by the way. But yeah, so hopefully I don't hit a bonsai build during that auto-scroller if I get it. I did that during my practice run too.
The first auto-scroll skip is pretty nice because, as you notice, like when Ali did it, we didn't really talk during it and waited for it to end because the ladders, whenever you jump up a ladder, it's a little bit faster than actually manually just climbing it. And that is a helpful audio cue to actually navigate it fully. Because it's just an auto-scroller with a bunch of vertical ladders. There's really not a whole ton of like standard traditional platforming involved.
Yeah, so that one was like probably the easiest one to memorize the path for. Honestly, the scariest part is when I get to the top, I have to jump up onto the pipe and not run past it and fall off. All right, next stylus minigame. So right now, I'm just taking the stylus to this log that Peach is spinning on, and I'm just rotating it. And that's the whole game. I can spin it the other way to like slow down and start going back down. But really, basically, the patterns here are you can outspeed the first one, but you have to stop and wait for the rest. So that's what I'm doing here.
Basically, all of these minigames that are these wheel ones and the trampoline one that we saw earlier, they're basically entirely cycle-based. And then there's a different type of minigame, or 2 other ones, technically. Or, well, no, it's really just the same one, just with a different coat of paint, where you're just kind of touching things on the screen, but those are practically auto-scrollers. And then coming up here, we have the Who fight.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's Who's Woods, so it looks like, this is, the namesake of the world. I'm doing specific timings with these hits, because as long as I got all that right, Who should dive from the left. Perfect. So yeah, if I was a little too early or a little too late, Who would have swooped left and then back right again before coming back down. So we basically saved ourselves like a movement cycle there, which is really nice. Plus the eggs drop more vibe, so I don't have to worry about losing any time to bad vibe drops. Overall, not many parts of this game are RNG heavy, but the boss fights can have some nasty RNG. So if the eggs didn't drop any vibe refills, I could have been in a really bad spot and had to do some backup risky strat to still try to get a fast kill. But yeah, so that gets us out of World 2, and now we're on to Shriek Mansion, the spooky world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
What's up?
I'm terrified. I'm scared.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I don't blame you. Yeah, this is the first world where things can start to feel a little more mazy, a little more labyrinthy. If we were taking the time to save all of the toads, I would have gone to 2 or 3 different dead-end rooms to get to those toads and then go back to the path forward. We do have a category for saving all the toads called All Toads. And that used to be the any percent category till the trick was found to skip them. And finding that discovery shaved off, I checked comparing my current 2 PBs in the 2 categories. It basically shaved 40 minutes off of the run between going through different like parts of the world. Plus, every time you save a toad, the screen sort of pauses for a bit and Peach claps on the bottom screen all happy and excited and stuff. And I kind of like how we get to have a more fast-paced run without those pauses by getting to skip the cutscenes of that.
Yeah, for a while, the old Toads was like the main way to run the game. It wasn't until like, what, about like a year or 2 ago? 2 years ago?
I think it's
where
been 2
the
years
Toad
by
Skip was
now,
found?
yeah.
Oh my goodness, time flies. Yeah, so about 2 years ago, the Toad Skip was found, and basically what that turned into, it basically just shuffled all the categories around. The low toad became the main any percent category, and then the all toads became like the semi-collectathon category.
Yeah, we had like this secondary category that was like in the spirit of low percent runs, where it's beat. What am I doing? Like the Twitch. Where it was like beat the game as fast as possible while saving the least amount of toads, which you don't beat the game in that category because you needed to save all the toads, but you do every single level. It was just a way to have a more approachable category because, you know, historical runs for any percent used to be over 2 hours long. So it was really nice that that much faster category was able to transform into the current any percent run. My favorite part about how the trick was discovered, someone just kind of hopped into the Super Princess Peach Discord and was like, hey, I know this thing that exists that I don't see y'all doing in speedruns. Why don't you do this thing? And we're like, what are you talking about? And we basically all started like pulling out our DS, playing around. It's like, oh my gosh, we can save 40 minutes. And everyone started doing runs. It was crazy. It was a very historic moment in this game's speedrunning history.
It was fairly funny because it was like, it sounds almost like fake. It's like one of those things. It's like the playground. Yeah, it's like one of those things. We don't know why it works. It looks like it might have been like a leftover like dev thing is my thought, because I don't really understand any other reason why it could work.
Yeah, I've been speedrunning this game since it was a speedrun. I think technically there might have been like one other person that ran this before it was a community or something, but honestly, one of my favorite things about speedrunning this game is getting to experience, like you always, when people talk about speedruns or like watch runs, people are like, how did that get discovered? Or why do people know to do this? And I've gotten to experience every single trick that's been found in this game. I was like, I was there when that was found. And it's like kind of a new perspective that, you know, I've never gotten to have with speedruns, because historically it was always, oh, I start watching runs and like already the game's already half broken.
That's really cool, though. I have found that I've had a similar experience. Most of the games I run already have a community around them, so I don't ever really get to experience like breaking a game wide open. But that's such a cool story. I love when things like that happen in speedrunning, or it's just like random people and you're like, hey, why aren't you doing this? And you're like, oh, okay, sure, yeah.
I think my favorite one of those is the trick that we're going to do, and I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but it's sort of related, so I want to mention it. The trick that we do to beat the final boss quickly, the reason it got discovered is because someone posted in some random like game FAQs like website, hey, I'm struggling to fight the final boss. I keep doing this one thing, but then he heals. I can't beat him fast enough. And I read that message. I have no idea who this person is. They're just someone that was trying to learn how to play the game. And I just read it. I'm like, but that's not how you beat the boss. What are you talking about? And I started playing around. It's like, oh, wait. I don't need to throw bob-ombs into his face. I can just poke his eyes out. So, like, it was just shenanigans. I'm sorry, Laz, did I cut you off?
I don't believe so. I think you're good.
I thought you were starting to say something, and I got.
If I was, I forgot.
Okay. Enter level. Okay, what am I doing? All right.
So this is kind of a weird level. This is kind of a weird level. This starting room has a bunch of springs, but we can take the speed that we get from the Gloom vibe and then just add it onto the velocity that we're gaining upwards from the spring. It allows us to skip a little bit here and there. Saves a few seconds, nothing too crazy. That being said, though, that room is tricky because the springs are finicky and also vibe management. This is one of the more important segments of the run in terms of like the world is very heavy on vibe management.
Yeah, there's a room we're coming up on that's just going to be a bunch of hops over platforms. I'm a little nervous about it because my last practice run, I like fell down and like it's nice that you can like if you start falling down a pit, you can save yourself by using Joy Vibe and keep the run going, but obviously that's at the cost of losing some vibe gauge, and that can really throw off your momentum and throw off some later routing. So hopefully I don't screw up these hops here. I could play it safe and double back like that, and I keep doing it. I want to try to just go full speed ahead, but good enough.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, we talked about damage boosts. I love this room. Pay close attention to this Bob-omb. I hit not that one, but this one. Remember, he's there because he's going to blow up, and I'm going to jump up boop, and damage boost out of vibe through the ceiling / floor.
Here's
More
this funny room.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to engage with this mechanic again later, but this is the only place where it's actually relevant. When this mechanic shows up much later, it's much slower than actually just traversing the room with a combination of Joy Vibe and just some careful platforming. There we go.
Oh, we just passed a fish and boo at the end of that level. Not sure if you noticed it or not, but yeah, you might see some enemies. I mean, we've already seen Petey from Super Mario Sunshine, but there's a bunch of enemies that are like from a number of other Mario games. Fish and boos from Super Mario World. Ravens make an appearance from Yoshi's Island. It's like very much an homage to a bunch of past Mario games. Also, this is the next touchscreen minigame. I'm taking the stylus and just rubbing the boos to scare them away. They just want a few head pats, you know? And once they're satisfied with their head pats, they go home. So don't forget to pet your boos. And Peach was moving back and forth up top. I had no control over that. That's just, you know, going on.
Yep, this is purely just an auto-scroller. And then right after this is one of the more RNG-intensive bosses in the game. So we have King Boo here. These torches are going to go out, and then the goal is to light each torch with the Rage Vibe. The problem is that which torch goes out is completely random. So right here, that's pretty good that we have it on the bottom. Ideally, we want them, the first two phases to be on the left side, because once it starts getting into like phase 3 and onward, we're just gonna have to hit both sides anyways. So it just comes down to the first two phases, because then now, starting on this phase onward, all the torches are just gonna be unlit, and then we're just gonna have to hit both sides anyways. And this is a boss that starts to mark trends in the speedrun, where we're going to be doing some heavier vibe management and really fishing for vibe gem drops mid-boss fight, because if not, we're just not going to have enough vibe to defeat the boss and do whatever mechanic that they want us to engage with.
And you can see we're incorporating damage boosts. As I crisscross, I intentionally take damage through King Boo, just to avoid having to turn the vibe off and on. I can't keep it on because that would be slow and I would run out of vibe gauge, but I don't want to manually turn it off because I don't want to deal with the freeze frames.
Yeah, the Rage Vibe, when Ali was joking earlier about stomping around in Rage Vibe, yeah, Peach moves like at a snail's pace when in the Rage Vibe. So it's not going to be a place where we want to be moving. We want to activate it, damage whatever we're damaging, and then immediately switch off of it as soon as possible via damage, or just manually turning it off if we don't have that option.
Another familiar enemy there for Super Mario World fans. Rexes make an appearance.
I love these guys.
Mm-hmm. And we had a foggy room earlier that we didn't talk about, but now we have a sandstorm room. In both of these rooms, we can whisk away the visual impediment, but It's not worth the time to use the Joy Vibe tornadoes to whisk it away when I can just sort of tank my way through just fine.
And then you're gonna notice there's some set spawns of the vibe drops. In these blocks, the most of them are just straight up guaranteed. And we're gonna do like this little hop here. Yeah. So most of the vibe drops in the blocks are guaranteed. We will be fishing for them in certain rooms, including a different sandstorm room that's gonna be coming up later in this world. And we have another auto scroller here.
Fun fact, yeah, this is the next auto scroller where if we wanted to try to do the ladder glitch, we could, which you'll notice this one's going horizontal instead of vertical. And I'll talk about why I'm too scared to do it on a marathon when I haven't practiced. So this is the ladder we would do it on. Basically, I would want to climb up the ladder at the exact same time that the far left of the screen scroll would squish me and void me out. Starting here, I would be off screen. I would have to jump over this lava pit. I believe because the Rex is off screen, he wouldn't be present. I would have to jump over this lava pit. And then I would have to jump either through these blocks or over these blocks to jump over that lava pit and then get in that pipe. And if I fall into any one of those lava pits, I have to reset the entire room.
That is scary. I would also be scared.
So, yeah, we will not be going for that one. Well, we did not go for that one in this room. Also, as I mentioned earlier, this is the world where we will make the second shop visit. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on my money. 750 coins is the sweet spot. So once we hit that, we are going to visit the shop and buy our 2 vibe teas, and you'll see how much our vibe gauge meter increases in maximum capacity.
So the way shopping tends to work in this game is that when you buy the first upgrade, the price just kind of doubles after that. So the first one is 250, which is neat. 250 is not a lot of money to get, but then afterwards it just jumps to 500, which obviously is a lot more committal to obtaining that. And it doesn't save enough time to just do 2 whole shopping trips because we gotta click the button, we gotta have Toad say hi to us, then we gotta go through some text boxes. And overall, it's not really worth it unless we're buying both at the same time. So let's go.
There is one situation where we could potentially combine the 2 shop trips that we do in the run into a single shop trip. We talked about, actually, I don't know if we talked about money. I don't know if we specifically talked about the goal rings, but you'll see one here where when you hit the goal ring, I got a turnip. I only get 1 coin for that. If I got a mushroom, it would be 10 coins. If I got a flower, it would be 30 coins. And if I got a star, it would be 50. But if you get a star, you have a random chance of it turning into a peach, and that gives you 777 coins. And if you get that early enough in the run, you can... Oh, I missed a vibe crystal refill. That's unfortunate. If you get that early enough in the run, you can then essentially do both the Floatbrella purchase and the 2 vibe tea purchases all in one shop visit in World 2 and save yourself a little bit of time shopping.
And now, while it would be ideal that everyone has that, when we're talking random chance, we mean like severely low. Like you'll probably do like 100 attempts of World 1 and you might not see one at all. So it's just kind of impractical to assume that you're going to get it right now. And we have no current way to actually manipulate it. So as of right now, it's just doing the 2 shop visits, and then if you do so happen to get a peach run, good luck, maintain that run, because who knows when's the next time you're going to see one.
Oh, we can shop. Let's go.
Shopping time.
So yeah, this shop visit's a little bit slower because you have to watch the vibe tea float up to the top screen and watch Perry go yum. And then we go again. And then we're out of there. And we will not shop anymore. And now look how much bigger our vibe gauge is. It doesn't start full. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but okay. But we can max it out by getting crystals along the way. And interestingly, we actually do get a free full meter on boss fights, which is very handy. Especially for the next fight we're gonna do, because we do use a lot of vibe in the next boss fight.
That fight and I would say probably World 6 are the two most intensive vibe resource management bosses, just because they require us to be in a specific vibe state for an extended period of time, which just means that there's more opportunities for us to just not have any vibe for the rest of the fight. So we need to be very careful to make sure that we're paying attention to that. And the vibe upgrades are obviously going to really help.
And even with like good management, there's still a chance that the vibe crystals we're hoping to spawn just don't, and we just lose time to RNG on boss fights due to bad vibe drops. Oh, and we didn't really point it out, but you can see, like, so Peach has all the different emotions we use for powers. Some of the enemies also have some vibes going on, like these spike tops here are rage spike tops. So they just, you know, a lot of times the vibes will affect their behaviors, like a joyful paratroopa will fly in a figure 8 pattern, an angry Koopa will like dash across at you, stuff like that. So, a neat little addition to all the enemies we'll see.
Fun to keep out because the game has like a very, very high amount of enemy variety. Each world has like a very specific set of vibes that they tend to lean to. As you can see, there's a lot of angry paratroopers here. This world generally leans towards angry vibe enemies, and there's actually a whole catalog of monsters that you can encounter and fill out in the game, which includes very strange picks like Starfy.
Yeah, a nice little cameo Easter egg appearance that they added in this game, because the developers of this game worked on Starfy as well.
It is kind of funny, much like the Peach drop at the end of the goalpost. Encountering Starfy is extremely rare. You probably won't see it in the run at all, but there's 3 specific locations where we can get it. And it is necessary for 100%, but we are not doing that.
So in a 100% run, if you're going for that, fortunately, Starfy always appears right next to a door or a pipe. And every time you reload the room, you have a chance of Starfy spawning. So we just basically stand on the pipe and keep holding down, re-entering the room over and over again. So we finally see Starfy. So it's basically like a shiny hunt in the middle of your speedrun. It's super fun.
That's awesome.
Fun is a very strong word to use in that context.
I guess there's probably a reason I'm the only person that's ever submitted a 100% run of this game, huh? Yeah, this is the last unique minigame. Go ahead.
I was just going to explain the minigame, so you can keep going.
No. You got it.
So you tap the rocks and then they break. It's basically like a different variant on the Ghost one. It's still an auto-scroller. We still really can't speed it up or slow it down. Just don't get hit, basically, which is pretty easy to do. So coming up, we have the Wiggler boss fight. This boss has a couple things going on. We need to hit these springs to knock it upside down, so that way we can damage it. And then it's going to have this rage phase where we need to time, I'm going to say that in quotes, time a spring to roll it over to calm it down. And I say time that way because it's not really like a strict timing. The spring clearly just kind of waits for Wiggler for a really, really long time before it actually pops up. And then after this part, we're going to be entering the second phase where Wiggler is going to fill the room with a cloud of poison, where we will need to make sure that we're managing our health and our vibe, because much like the sandstorm, we will be taking damage over time. And we will use that to not only get out of the vibe sooner, without having to tap the screen to cancel it manually and get the whole screen pause again. But also, it's just very likely that using it too much can get us in serious trouble, which is one of the more common places a Joy Vibe gets hit. Not a Joy Vibe, a Calm Vibe, I'm sorry. And then all the while... Oh.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw how long that plunger thing just waited for Wiggler to come over. So yeah, just illustrating.
It went the entire screen before it activated.
I do have to be careful here. I'm down to 1 health. So yeah, the damage boosting is cool, but you can't overdo it. Because sometimes if I had the health for it, I would do one last damage boost off of Wiggler's booty there. But yeah, I would die if I did that now, so I'm not going to do it.
And then the Joy Vibe is putting in a lot of work here, because not only does it get rid of the Poison Cloud, and it also just kind of makes us invincible to the Poison Cloud, since we are going to be getting rid of it, but then also breaks those rocks that were giving us vibe drops. Thankfully, Ali got pretty good vibe drops, so we didn't have to like worry about any vibe constraints for the fight, and that really helped the fight go a lot faster, and also makes it a lot safer too.
So now going into World 5, we are halfway done with the levels, but the levels get a little bit longer, so the halfway point of the run is like, I would say about midway through this world. Yeah, we're at Wavy Beach now, which, Laz, this is your favorite world, right?
You're funny. This world is really rough. For a couple reasons. One, auto-scrollers, we love those. Two, we have a lot more hefty platforming and a lot of places to take damage. Reckless vibe management and reckless damage boosting can really not only get you killed, but also just can leave you in certain areas where you just have to watch cutscenes to activate puzzles and switches because of not proper vibe management. It's actually a really technical world overall compared to a lot of the other places in the game in terms of vibe management, like here, for example.
And I think Laz mentioned something about auto-scrollers, so why don't we get into one of those in a second here? I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, everybody loves auto-scrollers.
Water scrollers?
Yeah.
Water scrollers.
You know, I could get behind that too, actually.
I will say, a lot of the sprites Peach has in this game are really adorable.
Yeah, can we just appreciate the pixel art in this game? It is a gorgeous game.
And the music's really cozy too. For as stressful as this world can be for speedrunning, at least the music can soothe you a bit.
Yeah, the more I watch, the more I'm like, I love this game. Actually, this is awesome.
It is a very fun game. I highly recommend playing it if you haven't.
Just remember to save all the toads. I have seen many a casual Twitch streamer rage quit after beating every single level because they just don't want to go back and save all the toads. It's honestly a frustrating decision on the devs to like not tell you very explicitly, oh, by the way, save all the toads before you beat the game. But yeah, it's a choice they made and we're kind of stuck with it.
Me and Ali have both like gone into streams and either notified the streamer or like the streamer will have like, oh, no spoilers in their title, so we'll like DM a mod like, hey, do they know?
Is it a
you gotta make sure they know.
Yeah, because every time I see somebody quit without beating the game, I get a little bit sad because I like. You're right. It looks like they're right at the end, even though, you know, technically they got to go back so many levels. Oh shoot. So we had the zipline power up earlier. We now have Subbrella. Remember how I said this is a DS game? And it loves being a DS game? The DS has a microphone. And look what happens when I go... We blow bubbles by blowing into the microphone.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's right in that time period where Nintendo was putting all the DS mechanics into their games, like in Phantom Hourglass with like blowing torches and such.
I will say my favorite one of those is where you close the DS and reopen it to stamp something in a Zelda game.
That's so cool.
Yeah. You imprint the bottom screen with the map, and then the top screen is like a wall with like an imprint on it, and then you push them together and it shows up on your map. It's so awesome.
Funny thing is, if I played that game on my 2DS that I'm using now, I would just have to flip the little sleep mode switch on. And it wouldn't really be the same kind of immersion.
Nope.
But yeah, so to be clear, this is a DS game, but I'm playing on a 2DS, which is, a 3DS family of console, whatever. But yeah, if you have a DS, you can totally play on that as well. Ooh. Laz, what am I going to do in the next room here? Can you explain? Because I got to focus.
So in this next room, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be doing a really tricky jump. There's like these puffballs. You might have seen it in the mansion stage. At the time, we were waiting for a boot to get under a lamp so that way it can fall to the ground and we can jump on it. Why we couldn't joy vibe on it? It's because it actually stops your joy vibe. So we're going to be doing this really specific jump, which will save actually quite a bit of time and navigating rooms and bypassing, I think, a toad. That's mandatory otherwise. Nice. That is a deceptively hard jump to make.
It's tricky because you have to essentially get Peach into the running state going right, then start skidding to the left, then press the jump button. And that order of operations is very particular to make sure you get out from under the block, have the running speed jump height to get the height to get up in there, and then, get up in the pipe. Oh, we're back underwater.
Water scroller hide. Yippee!
It's funny, you don't even need to blow into the mic. I can just take my finger and rub it against the mic and it works, or I can just talk towards the mic sometimes and that works. It's a pretty sensitive mic. But it's mostly fun to just always reveal it like that. Big dramatic blow, even if it's I don't know how the microphone's caught it for stream or for you guys in the Discord call, but I think it's fun. And that's what
that is hilarious.
I'm the runner. So yeah, thank y'all for sticking around for the run. It's really a pleasure to get to showcase this run. Yeah, I haven't run the game so much recently, but I always come back to it like at least once or twice a year. So yeah, it's a real pleasure. And I believe actually, funnily enough, this game is going to be showcased by another runner, a French runner, in it's like Nitro Speed Fest or something like that in like 2 weeks. So suddenly out of nowhere this month, Super Princess Peach is getting a lot of speedrunning love, which I'm really happy to see.
And it deserves it.
It definitely deserves it, yeah.
Two more levels in this world and then another boss. Oh shoot. Sorry. So we've been seeing some familiar faces on some of the previous bosses. There was a Wiggler, there was a PD Piranha, there was Boo, I guess wasn't that, but there was King Boo. But I don't know, what are your thoughts? What do you think we might be seeing for the boss for the beach? Start getting your thoughts in chat. I'm curious if anyone's gonna guess it. I'll keep an eye out, but yeah.
Peach is in a Mario game.
I'm trying to think like what it could be besides the correct answer.
The correct answer should be Cataquack, but
oh yes,
it's not.
Right.
I mean, that would be very possible. I would not be surprised if there was a Cataquack in this game. Cataquack's a great character. Shoutouts to Cataquack.
Shoutouts to Cataquack. One thing that does make World 5 a lot more, I guess bearable is the word I should use, is that thankfully the Gloom has like an active hitbox as you're running through things, which has been being used throughout the run, but notably in this age, to get through some tricky rooms, using the Gloom's active hitbox to just knock over an enemy without taking damage, really helpful for not only saving vibe, but also just dealing with some of the more annoying segments. The only issue is that it does slow you down a little bit, so we want to keep that to a minimum, but it does make certain sections a lot easier.
Sure. What's your vibe? No. Pretty long horizontal room here, so yeah, I wanted to make sure I got enough vibe to be able to finish it out. And there we go. Yeah, I barely had any left, so it was worth a little stop there to nom up that little cannonball enemy. Yep, there's the raven I was talking about from Yoshi. A little sad though. That raven actually has a interesting mechanic to it that it'll like sort of just stop in place and do like a really big cry out of nowhere. And what it does, it essentially causes like a quake throughout the entire room, and it will cancel out whatever vibe you're in. So you want to make sure to not have it on screen whenever you're trying to gloom vibe, because you could lose your movement and your momentum you're trying to maintain. I love that up arrow of coins up there, but I will not be going up there.
No. Do not fuck with the coins. Reject coins. You know, that raven in particular needs a hug.
Oh. So yeah, we just got that Subrella power-up, so no surprise in the beach world. More underwater. Why not? There is a shortcut I will get to take in this world, in this level, that is basically going to skip like honestly, at this point, I don't even know how many rooms it skips anymore because I always take it. But it just skips a good amount of space here. I want to try to do a really cool bounce here, maybe? No, didn't get it. Okay, that's fine. Just get rid of him then. We can bounce off that Lakitu and then ride his cloud up instead of slowly flying up with the Joy vibe. Ah, no Starfy. This is one of the rooms where Starfy could appear in. We were not blessed today.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, did I get it? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, we just got it.
Let's go.
Hooray.
A little late, but I mean, hey.
Alrighty, so
That's awesome.
since we are now in the second half of the game, the mini games are all going to start repeating. So we have the World 2 log mini game again, except with spears instead of those little prickly spike things.
Twigs.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
a good word. I like it. Yeah, twigs.
You know,
Yeah,
so
this
they're
one?
just reskins. Oh, sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. But yeah, this one it's full speed ahead, and then we have to just stop real quickly at the very last one.
And coming up, we have...
Did anyone guess
Blooper.
Cooper Blooper? Another sunshine
didn't.
boss.
We had some good answers, but I don't think anybody was right. I liked
Really?
Big Pianta the best.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
So much like the Sunshine counterpart, it's pretty similar. The big issue is that instead of RNG for vibe management, the part that really sucks about this fight is that RNG waiting for that hitbox to show up. So we're just going to destroy all 4 tentacles and then wait for that hitbox to show up and then just smack it. It's a pretty simple fight compared to the previous 2. And then we do have a last phase where there will be a basically a big bubble that Gooper Blooper will start to snooze. Ooh, good RNG. So he'll start to go to sleep and then have like a big bubble that will slowly heal him. That's really kind of the only part that might be like a little bit scary if for whatever reason you don't have vibe. Before, I know some people used to like use rage vibe to hit the hitbox, but that's not really done anymore. So the last phase is not really like a threat at all. It's nice.
I've had times where, like, with some of the earlier phases, Gooper Blooper just won't attack with the tentacles, and I'm just standing awkwardly on the ground just waiting. So that's probably one of the most annoying things about this fight. But yeah, unfortunately got the short attack there, so we have to wait for another one, and now we get the hit. Yeah, and here comes that phase 2 where he's gonna try to use Calm Vibe to heal, but pop the bubble, and on to the last hit. Actually, as we start to wrap up this boss fight, I think after we load back to the overworld, we're gonna pass it over for a short break real quick before we get into the back half of this run. So let's go ahead and finish Bam. And we'll go after I skip the little post-boss cutscene. I'll pause on the overworld.
Sounds good.
And we can maybe talk about those when we get back too. Because you might have noticed for like half a second after each one of these boss fights, we see Peach and Perry napping at a campfire. And we'll do pause. So yeah, go ahead.
Cool. We've been having a great time with this run. I know I sure have, but we are going to go ahead and take a quick little wellness and stretching break here. So make sure you stretch, hydrate, use the restroom, get a little treat, and we'll be back with the back half of this run soon. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Hidden Heroes. Welcome back from that quick little break. We are in the middle of the Flame Fatales After Party episode where we're showcasing some backup runs from Flame Fatales. I'm going to go ahead and pass it right back over to Ali Robotnik to get started with the second half of this run. So welcome back.
All right. Sounds good. Before we start, I just want to give a quick shout out to my kitty cat, Anastasia, who's chilling on the tower up there with us for the back half of the run. Alrighty, but with that, let's go ahead and count ourselves back in 3, 2, 1, go.
So
now
this is...
Go ahead.
Do you want to...
No.
So this is World 6. It's the obligatory ice level in a Nintendo game. So there is ice physics. They're not really used for anything like crazy. We're not doing any kind of crazy ice boost momentum or anything like that, which is good. There are some strats in this world in particular that are a little bit special, but we will get into that when we get into that.
This is actually one of my favorite levels because even though we're like in the back half of the game, this one level we get done in like a minute. It's so silly how short this one level is because we can just go straight to the last room. Boop.
Yeah, levels start getting like really convoluted with making you just go really out of your way for certain toads. So much so that it's pretty easy to get lost if you're playing it blind. But because we don't have to worry about toads, we don't got to worry about that.
We have this really long room here that you're supposed to use joy. You can even see all the crystals they give you to try to refill your vibe. But we're just going to use some damage boosting to just fly across it at full speed with Gloom. So, very nice movement there. A few sad, gloomy Inies there we get to hop over, give a little high five too. And we're actually already done with this world too, or this level. Right up here's the goal. Nice. Trying to think how the next level starts.
So on this level, we do have another big auto-scroller coming up. But much like how we explained how 4-1 works, or I think it was like 4-3, where it's a horizontal auto-scroller, but we do have a ladder, that is going to come into play here as well. It's a little bit more tricky than the one that we saw in World 2, but let's hope that Ali can pull it off.
We've got one of my favorite puzzle-solving mechanics here. If you cry on this platform, it freezes over with ice. And we can slide. Honestly, so there's some really basic puzzles. Fire burns wooden bridges. Wind spins a pinwheel. There's some that don't make sense to me, like spinning on top of a water geyser makes it shrink. So they range from clever to confusing. I think my favorite one's in the next world, where we're gonna light a hot air balloon with Rage Vibe to fly, because we can't use Joy Vibe to get through the room. But yeah, getting a little ahead of myself there. Here is the auto-scroller. The scary part about it, if we get the trick, these bonsai bills can actually spawn, and we don't really know. I don't really know how to control the height of them. I do know the side they spawn on depends on which way I'm facing. But if I can get this to work and there's no bonsai blocking my way on this ladder, we'll see if I can get the glitch here. There we go. I'm gonna do a slide tackle, go down the ladder, gloom through some blocks, go up a ladder. I missed the ladder, go back up a ladder. No? Hang on. Go in the door. I don't know where I was. Okay. I didn't hear myself hop up a ladder, but we made it. We take it.
Nice, we take those.
Mm-hmm.
There is a second ladder that appears like a little bit after that one, but at that point, that's so late in the auto-scroller that it's just kind of not really worth going for. And odds are you're more likely to lose time to trying it and dying than you are to save any time at all.
I love all the slopes in this room because you can just get full speed ahead going across. Yeah, and this world is also home of one of the 2 longest auto-scrollers in the game. Not in this level, but the next one. So we'll be straight chilling in there. Maybe that'll be my opportunity to tell you about the campfires between the boss fights. But yeah, this is an auto-scroller, but not the auto-scroller.
The auto-scroller?
Mm-hmm. What's everyone's favorite pastime to do in auto-scrollers? Do you just idle? Do you jump to the music? Do you try to glitch the game?
I like making loud noises on my controllers to the music.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm trying to think. Most of the games I play don't have a whole lot of auto-scrollers in them, but
Lucky.
I like to, get a little evil, whatever that might mean.
Auto-scrollers are funny. The main game I run has an 8-minute auto-scroller in the back half of the run, so it's just a lot of just turning my brain off.
Oh, I'm a little scared. Okay, we might calm vibe totally just to show it off and show what it is and not because I need it. But I just don't. Why chance it, Just go ahead. So this is what calm vibe looks like. The one nice thing about it is, for whatever reason, turning it off, there is no freeze frame. So if you use it immediately out of a different vibe, you don't really lose time for it. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case there, but it's a thing you can do.
Nice.
I love that setup where you drop the bomb there just to bounce right off of it to come up here. Cute little movement trick. And then turn this on. And that's the last place Starfy could have spawned, up on that higher platform. So, unfortunately, no Starfy this run. We did get a peach earlier though, so we'll take that. I forget sometimes how fast this one world flies by. It really is mostly World 8 that just really slams the brakes on the pacing.
Yeah, World 8 is really, really long, even if you're skipping all the toads, because it reintroduces a lot of the just slowest mechanics in the game, like the door maze puzzles from World 3, more submarine stuff, and just obstacles that just take a lot of time and vibe to manage. So we just spent a lot of time in World 8 just managing vibe a lot harsher.
I think back when we had to save all the toads, World 8 on its own was like 30 minutes of the run. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what is it, like 8-4, 8-5 in particular, that just makes you do like way too much?
A whole labyrinth.
Wow.
Yeah, 8-5 is hilariously short in this run. Because it's a really long level if you're saving all the toads, but all of the toads are each at the end of like a different dead end path. Then that just takes you back to the hub room, and then the fourth path takes you to the end. So, but we just go straight to the fourth path. Also, this is the auto scroller we were talking about that is only rivaled by the 8-2 vertical auto scroller in length. But in the meantime, while we're here, we can talk about Perry's dreams that are happening. So between each boss fight, we learn a little more and a little more about Perry's backstory. Turns out his whole deal was, I assume he was some sort of humanoid creature. We don't really know. But he kind of wakes up with his memory lost, classic Amnesia story, on a mountain with this old man that he affectionately calls Grandpa. As far as I know, no blood relation. But they hang out on the mountains, they're best friends, all that stuff. And one day, out of nowhere, an evil magician and his minions show up and ambush them. And they throw a curse on Perry and turn him into a parasol and kidnap him and separate him from Grandpa. And we don't even know what happens to Grandpa. Perry's got no idea what happened to him.
Grandpa. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but then meanwhile the minion and the wizard are like walking away, and Perry manages to wiggle free, and I guess they don't realize it, and they just walk on, and he's just stuck inanimate on the floor. And one day a merchant walks by and sees him on the side of the road, and he's like, oh, I bet I could sell this thing. I don't know. And so he picks Perry up and puts him at the side of the store, starting to think, oh, no one's going to buy this. It's trash. But one day Toadsworth walks up and sees this umbrella, and he's like, oh, I got a good... That's my Toadsworth voice. I got a good sense of this parasol. Whatever. So he goes ahead and purchases it from this merchant and takes it home to the Mushroom Kingdom, where when Peach has to go on her adventure for this game, Toadsworth says, here, take this parasol, you'll need it, or whatever. And she does. And so Perry's like slowly remembering all this. And by the end of the game, he's like, Grandpa, I'll find you one day, but first I'm going to help save Peach. So cliffhanger, this game is like, one day we're going to find Grandpa again. And after this game, we find out nothing.
Perry's existence never comes up again after this. I think that's under like Smash.
He's got trophies and stickers in Smash Bros, but justice for Grandpa, honestly.
So coming up here is another extremely vibe-intensive thought. It's another vibe-intensive boss fight. We're primarily going to be using Rage Vibe. The difficult part of the fight is mostly in its phase 2. The boss is going to be flying around, and the vibe drops can be very stingy. And we will see how that goes. Assuming that we do get good vibe drops, it should be pretty tame, but otherwise it's a lot of like, all right, we got a new plan, figure out what to do.
Yeah, we intentionally wait for those stompies to get these icicles to pop up, because they're going to be how we get vibe refills. Yeah, we got a small crystal there, that's good. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get the next 2 hits. I'm going to do some like silly flip the switch on and off movement here. So off and on again, and off, on again. Okay. On to phase 2, where Blazzaris here decides to take to the skies. Alrighty, only one small vibe crystal, so I'm gonna want... There's a big one. Let's go. Okay, that's really good.
Nice, that's good.
Another big one, maybe? Small one? Okay. We can work with this, I think. 1, 2... Honestly, I could not ask for a better fight in a marathon. It goes a lot worse
great.
sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes those icicles just drop nothing, or they're super far away, or just I try to grab them and the crystals despawn at a bad time or something. I just can be nasty sometimes.
And then you just start taking a bunch of damage, so calm vibe starts coming in, and then you're like, oh, how the heck am I going to do both?
And now we're off to giddy skies. Nice, happy, whistly music. A bunch of clouds. And guys, I don't know. Oh, no, I found. It's fine.
It's one of the best tracks in the game, in my opinion.
I like the damage boost strat here. Just bonk my head on spikes, you know. Neat little trick.
Youch.
Oh, we hinted at the 100% run a little bit earlier. We can talk a little bit more about what goes into the 100% run a little bit.
So, we already discussed the whole monster encyclopedia. That is just killing one of every type of monster. That includes the monster itself and all of its 5 variants, as they all are considered like unique monsters. And then we have the minigames. You've seen Ellie pick up like a couple of those minigame things. that is only the first level of the minigame. You have to buy the rest, and they're also very expensive. And the minigames are all just DS gimmick games, Toad Tote being probably one of the most hectic ones of them. So not only do we have to grind money for all the vibe upgrades and health upgrades, we have to grind money for the minigame purchases. And then on top of that, we have to do a couple of levels that come after, like, post-game levels. They're like an additional, like, 3 levels per world that are after the boss. And then we have to do a whole victory lap throughout the game that puts more collectibles where the Toads originally were in the base game. And then we have to come back and grab new collectibles that spawn there, which are stuff like bonus music stuff and a bunch of puzzle pieces. And then, real quick though, we have this fun little boost here.
Okay, it's okay. Save it.
Saved.
No,
Touched.
wait. We're fine. There we go.
There we go.
Thanks.
We are so back.
We are so bad. And then funny consequence of doing the Toad Skip glitch. In 100%, it's still valuable to do so because we can't get the collectibles until the game is beaten. And then once you do the Toad Skip, it actually just assumes that you got all the Toads in all the levels and just gives them to you for some reason. So because of that, in the 100%, it is doing any percent with extra steps. And then you do a whole victory lap through the game, getting all the new collectibles in the original Toad locations, and then doing all the post-game levels. And then you make a pit stop for grinding a boatload of coins. And if you think you know how many coins it is, it's more. How many coins is it? Yes.
And on top of that, you have to refight every boss because every boss... the boss refights are how the levels unlock, and the boss refights are actually a slightly more difficult version of the original fight. And also on top of that, an additional collectible this game has is puzzle pieces. And once you get enough puzzle pieces for the world's puzzle, you have to complete like the World 1 puzzle, and then the World 2 puzzle, all the way through. So there's 8 puzzles you have to complete. I don't know if you mentioned it for the minigames, but there's 10 levels of every minigame. So it's 30 minigames, 8 puzzles, the base 40 levels twice, the post-game 24 levels, the 8 bosses twice. Make sure you kill all the enemies along the way. And get all the collectibles in level. And maybe that's everything for 100%. Yeah, usually my explanation always goes with, but not only that, but wait, there's more. It's an insane 100% run in terms of like little things you have to remember to do.
Yeah, it's a constant, just making sure everything is accounted for because there's just way too much to do in the 100% run. What's your 100% time? Like 5.5 hours, 6.5 hours? I can't remember.
Somewhere around there. I don't know. I was going to guess 7. I used to, so August is Peach Month. Like I think legitimately in the States, it's National Peach Month in August. I used to celebrate Princess Peach. Well, I still kind of do every year. But one of the things I did my first couple years was I did my annual 100% Super Princess Peach speedrun. Last year, instead of Super Princess Peach, I did my first ever Princess Peach Showtime 100% run, which Nintendo did not learn their lesson. They decided for Princess Peach Showtime, you have to beat every level twice again. Because why not? Let's add more collectibles. But yeah, so I used to do like one Super Princess Peach 100% run a year. But yeah, I always make sure to pull out some Peachy games in August every year.
That's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if it if it wasn't apparent. Allie really likes Princess Peach. Just a little bit.
Just a
Just a,
tad.
yeah, just a little teensy bit.
All right, so this used to be a puzzle piece that we thought you had to grab. Then some runner once just flew over it, and I'm like, oh, I guess I can do that, huh? Also, here's that hot air balloon I was talking about.
I think this is what we do this like twice in the whole run. The hot air balloon?
Yeah, it comes up again in a later stage in this world. Yeah.
A lot of the platforming starts looking a little bit more like a traditional. A lot of platforming starts looking a little bit more like a traditional Mario game because I'm not sure if you noticed, but the levels are just primarily like flat, long stretches. From this point forward, there's a lot more like actually expected platforming of you. Thankfully, Joy Vibe is just going to come in clutch for whenever something does happen, but generally it's nothing too crazy to worry about.
I gotta say, that Toad knows how to get captured because he did it in a way that blocked my path. He's absolutely required. He's one of the few unskippable Toads.
How many are there? Like 7?
If you include the bosses, it's somewhere around there. A few worlds have like 1, and then randomly, like, the one world has like 2 or 3. Dang it. Alright, so there's a figure-eighting paratrooper there, so I just gotta strategically hop under. Got some nice glue movement here. We were talking about like being able to damage boost through enemies. Could be doing a little bit of nope. Right, I'm going to conserve vibe now because I need vibe in the next room. So we're gonna be making some adjustments. There we go.
Yeah, a large part of this run is just making on-the-fly vibe decisions like that, because I can't really stress this enough how, like, almost unable to do anything you are if you don't have vibe. There's so many strats in this game that just revolve around the vibe meter that if you don't manage it properly, you just look like you're doing a casual playthrough half the time because it's just nothing else to do.
Yeah, so
that or you sit down for seconds grinding it.
Yeah.
I think vibe management is also true of real life too. Sometimes you just need to decide the vibe on the fly.
That's so real. Manage your vibe, everybody.
Trying to think what else we got coming up. We got one more stage in this world, and then we're off to Bowser's Villa, which I love. That's the name of the last world in this game. Bowser basically just set up a timeshare on. So the name of the world this game takes place on is Vibe Island, where the mysterious Vibe Scepter exists that Bowser basically used to, cause this emotional chaos everywhere. Maybe I'll go into that plot storyline a little bit. As well, but let me do a quick damage boost there and take this little shortcut to the end. Oh, nope, that was a mistake. Managed to not throw vertically. That's okay though. I will need a little extra vibe because I know there's some really high joy I need to do up ahead, so I'm just gonna take the time to grab a few of these guys. That's more than plenty. Definitely just don't want to get caught. Like, I've had a run die right here because I ran out of vibe, because off to the right here, you're supposed to hit a block that spawns all these platforms, but I don't want to take the time to do all that. I would just rather, fly up like that. So you need the vibe for it. I like this auto-scroller because I start by intentionally not pressing anything. And now the auto-scroller is like twice as easy because it's just a straight line instead of a big labyrinth. So, little secret hidden path here with a lot of money too that would be good for a 100% run maybe, but I don't really care about it here. It's just a nice little sneaky hidden path that's fun to find. It's an auto-scroller, so it doesn't really save time, but still fun to do. There's Torpedo Ted from Super Mario World. I really like Super Mario World. My favorite of the classic Mario 2D platformers.
Yeah, I'm loving the cameos from the different characters.
I'm trying to think there was some Mario Bros.
In this game.
Which one? What?
A lot of love poured into this game.
Alright. And for the next mini game, we're back to another trampoline stage.
Mhm.
And this one, the cycles of the Goombas really matter. So I'm gonna actually one time, rather than go the full height, I'm gonna intentionally only go up one level instead of two. It's gonna be on the next one. So yeah, right here, I'm going to go just to there, and hopefully I can go all the way to the top. Nope. Okay, back up. Peach can wall kick. Boom. Okay.
What can't she do?
All right. So we've noticed after every boss fight, that is one of the places that we save a toad. This boss is unique in that we're not saving a toad afterwards. The problem is I have no idea who this character is. The game doesn't know. It's been a mystery for the 7, 8 or whatever years I've been speedrunning it. If you guys know, please let me know, but I'll show you what the game tells me. Maybe you'll be able to figure it out, but to this day,
I've been for a long time too.
a man of mystery. Let me just make him dizzy and bop on his head 2 more times. There you can see he gets all sad. Phase 2, the Kamek or Magic Hoop, whatever, just drops the clouds. Now I have to jump up manually up to him. Nothing too difficult though, and
Yeah, compared to a lot of the other bosses in this run, it's like a break. It's a much needed break from all the much more crazy bosses.
all right, so here he is. No idea who this guy is. Just look, the game doesn't tell you. You saved the Green Man?
Yeah, who's this
Mario?
Green Man?
The Green Man, that's all I know.
What he?
Why is he here? How did he get here?
Fair question. At the start of the game, I mean, we know we're saving all the toads. The story is essentially Bowser sends his army with the Vibe Scepter to ambush the Mushroom Kingdom. And all the toads, that mysterious Green Man, and Mario all get captured. And, labyrinth time. This way.
Take a wild guess on the doors. Don't guess right, go right back and do it again.
So some of the doors send you back to the beginning of the maze. Other doors take you to side rooms where the toads are. So they're half right, sort of. But for the speedrun, they're wrong. So yeah, we're just gonna take the fastest route and just get ourselves to the end of the room, nice and quick. And then Laz mentioned a long time ago, back in World 3, those rotaty rooms that we'd see the mechanic all over again. We'll see the mechanic, or the blocks for the mechanic. If all goes well, we're not going to use it. Joy Vibe can be overpowered in some rooms. It's crazy.
Who knew? Flying in a 2D platformer is kind of busted.
Oh, I wanted another Peach. That would have been so cool. Alrighty, so auto-scroller time.
This level's this part, this auto scroller in particular, is actually quite easy to accidentally tie in. Towards the middle part of it, there's a slightly tricky platforming, and the screen actually scrolls up a little quickly. So it's just being careful not to make a mistake and fall in.
I have fallen victim to this room on a run before. If you're paying attention, it's not hard, but it's sometimes you want to try to read chat or just chill for a bit, take it easy, and it can just be punishing. It's weird because you see these moving platforms that you think are moving back and forth, but the pace of the auto-scroller basically only gives you one chance. So it's I'll wait for the next cycle, and by the time the next cycle comes, the platform's already gone, you know? So yeah, we gotta watch out for that. Yeah, I'm just a little bit locked in here. Sorry for getting a tad bit quiet. Just Because yeah, it's not hard, but boy, would it be painful to have to do this room all over again.
Like, it's just, like, weirdly close how it looks like you're not supposed to be doing so. Ooh, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's okay. It's okay. That was a deliberate damage boost to get pushed forward. Yep, I calculated that. No, doesn't always work out like that. Right. This room actually screws with people casually too, because you're hitting all these different switches that make these blocks sort of open and close paths. But yeah, there's a toad in there actually to save, but we don't have to worry about that. I feel like a lot of rooms you can say that. There's a toad here, but we don't care. So.
And casually, Bowser's Villa is a nightmare, frankly. It starts turning into like, you have to start thinking about it closer to like a 2D Zelda game, like Zelda 2 or something like that, compared to how you'd think of like a traditional Mario game and how the whole game has been up to this point, because there's like legitimate navigational challenges in this stage on top of just the rough fight management. Thankfully, Ali has played this game enough to just have it memorized, which is good because I don't.
I've played it like at least 5 times at this point. Maybe 6.
Maybe 6.
Jeez, what was that sound up there? Alright, so we're lighting torches like we had to do back in World 3, but with these, we have to use these blue flames, so I can't just use Rage Vibe for it. So, just kind of have to have the little blue flames follow us to open this door and take us to the last room. Which we never talked about those disintegrating platforms. Usually I talk about those back in World 3. You want to tell us what those are about, Love?
Yeah, so there are these platforms that just instantly break away as soon as you land on them. The whole thing, though, is that there is a walk button in this game. If you press the one of the shoulder buttons, you walk, and by walk, I mean like walking through the garden on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon type deal, because it's just really, really slow. That's the only real application of it. And then before, we weren't even walking on them. We were using the slide, which, like how we used the slide to get a larger window to maintain our slide boosts, we used that to give us a larger window to just jump out of it, because you were completely actionable out of the slide and you could just jump right out of it instead of walking on it. Then we have our final let's go.
Oh, there's one more.
Oh.
It's okay though.
Whee!
Yeah, this zip line inspired like my first ever Twitch emote. Let's go! It's so cute. Alright, this toad is one of my favorites because we jump off him. Use him as a stepping stone.
He's poor toad.
Mm-hmm. And we did this earlier, but Peach is gonna come in like a wrecking ball here. Boom, boom, and one more. You basically have to run into that swinging ball with Bloom Vibe to push it to break those blocks. Oh, and this next room is really interesting. Where basically, there's this giant face in the background, a giant thwomp, and I have to match the pose of the statues. And if I don't, I get sucked into the back of the room and have to reset it. I'm gonna duck here. And it looks like I'm in a good position. If I do this right, there we go. He's gonna open his eyes one more time. I can get in the door before the game freezes and does the check. It's really tight. But
Yeah.
it's really cool when you can make it.
That's awesome.
There's still going to be a few more of those throughout the world. But I think that one is the hardest one to hit, if I'm not mistaken.
All the other ones actually only lead to toads. That's the only one to run. The only one in any percent. There's a happy blooper doing figure 8. 8 seems to be the happiest number in this game because both happy bloopers and happy paratroopers like doing figure 8 patterns.
I love happy little guys.
Mm-hmm. Just silly little guys. Another torch room here, so we're just chilling. Hanging with the spike tops. I like how the doors in this world have little Bowser faces on them, and the torches do too. Bowser's kind of likes himself with it, it seems. I admire the architecture. I respect it. And we're out of there. Ooh, flower.
Thankfully, health in this game is very... You get a full health restore at the start of every level. Your default hit points is 6 hits before you die. And there's no lives at all in this game. So damage boosting becomes very much in handy to just skip all the treacherous terrain, because it's not... These levels in World 8 are not really long enough to constitute using Gloom Vibe to navigate them. Because when you fall, we have the trigger animation, we have the untrigger animation, and when you fall slower while in Gloom Vibe. So it's really just going to be navigating these levels, just taking damage to avoid the obstacles to speed up instead of using Gloom Vibe like we were doing for the majority of the run. So instead of vibe management, while we are still doing a lot of vibe management, a lot of health management starts coming into play in this world too.
And playing casually, if 6 bars of health isn't enough, you can even buy a tough copy to increase your health even more. Also, I love the boos in this room. The angry boos, they work backwards. So when you look at them, they approach you, and when you look away, they freeze. Cool little change in pattern. Wait for that. Oh, and also, as we start nearing the end of the world here, we should probably start alluding to what's happening for Toad Skip. So, once we finish this world, pay close attention to the touchscreen. You're going to notice there's these like tiny little dots between each world or each level that, like, when the next level spawns, they have these little skulls that kind of look like they pop up in them. Basically, those are going to be important for Toad Skip, because I'm going to be looking for one of those to pop up on the screen and essentially just tap just to the left of it on the touchscreen. And by doing so, the game just lets us break into the final boss. So yeah, keep an eye on the bottom screen right next to me, I think over there. And to see the little dots pop up, and they go down. So yeah, we're going to be looking for one of those. It
is a RNG thing. Basically, they just come up in certain intervals, and it's completely random. Well, more so random in the sense that it determines from like when the game is boot up. So what we're going to be doing is, after we beat the stage 8-5, we're going to just soft reset the game. And that way we can do like a quick RNG manipulation, so that way it comes up pretty soon and on the screen where 8-5 and 8-6 are located. So that way we know exactly where it's going to show up, and we can immediately click it.
Oh, and also this is that really long labyrinth level I was talking about. Bottom left of this room, bottom right of this room, and top right of this room, all 3 lead to a toad. And this door up here just leads to the exits. We do have a little pick a pipe section here. Every incorrect pipe you pick sends you back to the top of the room. Fortunately, it's consistent every time you enter, so we just know to just go right to the end here. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of overload menuing, and then we're going to soft reset. Do this, let the screen scroll over, back out, and soft reset. And enter. Oh, here we go. So I'm basically tapping on the second little dot. You'll see on the third little dot, a little skull thing will appear. And if done right, we go right in. Perfect.
That's so cool.
And that one trick there just saved us 40 minutes.
Wow.
It's insane. Yeah.
This game is awesome.
So yeah, don't forget to give your boos head pats one last time. And so the final boss is actually 3 bosses. There's going to be an Angie Hammer Brother, then Small Bowser, then Big Bowser. So, funnily enough, I feel like the Hammer Bro is probably the hardest phase to do fast. And then it gets progressively easier.
There is going to be a little cutscene skip that Ali's going to try to go for. Basically, you just have to damage it fast enough for it to just not trigger it. The problem is that once we damage it the first time, it's going to just sprint across, and then we have to deal with all the Hammer Brothers on top of that. So it's just about chasing it, reacting to where it moves, and then dealing with all the enemies, not slowing it down too much. And then, if done correctly, nice. That was actually really close. It almost looked like it did work.
If he stood there for like maybe 2 more frames, we would have gotten the cutscene where he spawns in more Hammer Brothers. So yeah, now on to Bowser. He actually has 10 health, disguised as 5. But yeah, he has the Vibe Scepter, so you'll see after the first 2 hits, he's going to use the Vibe Scepter to cycle through a few emotions. So he's going to go to Joy here to do some stompies. And then he'll go Gloom, and then he'll go Rage. After this fight, we're going to go to Big Bowser, and time is actually going to come up really fast. Because I'm just going to fly up and poke him in the eye 5 times. And when I say poke him in the eye, I mean I'm going to be pressing the X button, which is the button I've been using to pick up enemies, not the whack button. For whatever reason, a lot of enemies that can't be picked up, bosses included, get damaged by the pickup animation. And for some reason, that works on Final Bowser's hitbox. Originally, we used to have to wait for Bowser to spawn Bob-ombs, then you throw one Bob-omb, hit him, wait for him to spawn Bob-ombs, then hit him again, etc. So this little trick that I told you before, I stumbled on like someone asking how to beat the game. Is what we're gonna do here. So that's 1, 4 more hits and we're done. 2, 3, 4, and time. There we go.
Nice.
There was actually a small chance he could instantly fall asleep and try to heal, and if he closes his eyes, I can't hit him. So fortunately, we didn't have that happen, and we got the fast boss fight. So there we go. Super Princess Peach, any %. Underestimate, too. Let's go. All right. Laz, do you have any shout-outs you want to give now that the run has finished up here? Oh, poor Green Man.
And we don't know who he is anyways, it's fine. Shoutouts to the Princess Peach Discord for specifically the Super Princess Peach Discord. Despite how niche this game is, there are a few people that are very passionate about it, and it's been so cool to see over the years how people have pushed the game forward. Is actually how me and Ali met, so this game is kind of important to us in that sense. We've been friends for a very long time because of this game. As for this game specifically, as for that, yeah. How about you?
Did you want to tell them what you usually do? What you speed?
Oh, maybe I should, huh? Yeah, so I usually stream on Twitch. I am primarily a Pac-Man speedrunner. I do primarily Pac-Man World 2, and I will be doing a lot of streams in the coming week because of the new game coming out shortly. I'm excited to do that. And that's really all I do. My Blue Sky, I do some art, and I stream on Twitch.
So yeah, give shout outs like Laz said to the Super Princess Peach Discord. It's always been a passion in speedrunning this, watching the community grow, watching like stuff get discovered, runners start, take a break, come back, all that. Shout out and reminder again, in like a week or 2, the Rudy, who is the current world record holder of this category, will be opening Nitro Speedrun Festival with Super Princess Peach any %. So try to keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited that this game's being shown off again. I want to shout out my bestie, Ivy, as well. She's always been supportive of me in my streaming and speedrunning endeavors and all that. So always a pleasure having her. Laz, it's always great having you around too. Extra shout out for you. And yeah, so I stream on Twitch, this name, Ali Robotnik. The main thing I do these days is randomizers. I really love doing those Archipelago multi-game randomizers. I am also on a little bit of a Princess Peach Showtime speedrunning kick, where I do any % in that, where I mentioned this is the saddest speedrun. Princess Peach Showtime any % is like, I don't really call it the deadliest speedrun, because we use death abuse to just keep running into enemies and dying over and over again to just basically finish a lot of levels really fast, while also doing some really technical movement in other levels as well. So, yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll be doing some Showtime speedruns soon, as well as just sneaking in some different Archipelago randomizers as well. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I don't do too much on socials. I technically have some. Like, I have a Twitter, I have a TikTok, whatever, but mostly just Twitch is where you'll see me, or in Discord. So yeah, thanks all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, GG's. That was such a fun run. I'm so glad to have had you on the show. You did amazing. But yeah, with that, once again, thank you so much, Ali, for being on and for showcasing this run. But with that, friends, I think we are going to go ahead and shutter down the show for tonight. We've got some more hotfix going on after this, of course. Before we do our my goodbyes for the night, I do want to do some quick shout outs. I do want to shout out our Discord, of course. So if you're looking to get more involved with the GDQ community, join the official Games Done Quick Discord and add the hotfix role to stay in the loop on upcoming events, chat with staff, and more. Use !Discord in the Twitch chat for an invite for more information. And speaking of all the vibes and the joy going on in that run, I do want to shout out Black in a Flash as well, which is a community that uplifts and connects Black speedrunners of all levels, hosts special events throughout the year, and we also raise money for charity as well and celebrate Black voices in the speedrunning and gaming community. Learn more and apply to get involved at gdq.gg/BAF, and also follow us at blackinaflash.bsky.social on Blue Sky for our latest updates. But with that, I am going to go ahead and go to bed for the night. Remember, my friends, you are all great and that you're all heroes.